I'm gonna have to jumpstart this. Now, luckily for me, not too far away from where I work is a car shop. So I walk the motorcycle, literally walk it like, you know, a few blocks to this shop. And I pull up and I just go, hey guys, can you help me with my bike? Can you help me jumpstart it? And they're super nice. They're like, hell yeah, dude. We jumpstart the bike. It turns on. W! Bike turns on. They walk away. I go, can I pay you guys? They go, nah, man, you're all set. I go, thank you so much. You guys are a lifesaver. You don't even know. And then they walk away. The moment they walk away, bike turns off. And so I'm like, okay, this is gonna be awkward. So I walk back and I go, hey, oh my God. Okay, wow, this interaction's been really good. Hey, sorry, I'm sorry. The bike turned off again. Can we, I don't know what's going on with that. So we try jumpstarting it again. Because I thought maybe I fucked up. Maybe I didn't rev it. Maybe I need to instantly ride it out so the alternator can go, the tires can go, whatever. It doesn't work this time. And at this time, like an hour has passed. Michael has showed up. He's like, hey man, ready for the trip? I'm like, small bike issue, gonna fix it real quick, then we can go. He's like, great, love it. Still, it's like 12:30-ish, right? We're not too late here. And what we do now is we pour gas in the bike, we jumpstart it again. It has gas, it'll jumpstart, we'll be all good. This time, not only does it not jumpstart, the battery is not taking any power at all. The lights don't even turn on. And I'm like, oh, okay, we got an issue here. We got an issue that goes beyond what I initially thought was the battery is a bit low. Our battery's completely dead. So now I'm scrambling. I'm like, oh, fuck, okay, maybe I drive down. Maybe I try to ask for a friend's motorcycle. I'm going through all this. And now it's like 1 o'clock. I look on my phone how long it would take to drive from LA to San Diego. Just coincidentally, around that time, there was a bad accident on the 5 South, which is the main highway that connects those two cities. The accident was so bad that when it told me 2.5 hours earlier in the day via car, it had jumped up to 3.5. And I was like,
what's your strategy
3.5?
this time,
That's rough. Because now, at 1 o'clock, even if I left right now, I would be late for the event that I need to be at 4 o'clock. And so now I start thinking of backup plans. And I start calling around. I start literally calling people I know who have motorcycles to borrow their motorcycles. The guy who sees me panicked, he goes, dude, we can just replace the battery. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, we'll just replace the battery. Me, not being a good car guy, I didn't know that was an option. I thought I had like special battery that, because it's a motorcycle, right? Like I know Toyota Camry batteries, they fucking print them by the dozen. I thought motorcycle battery was like a little specialer, So I'm like, let's do that.
Have a good
He's like, yeah, I'll get one right now. And I'm like, hell yeah. And I sit there. And then he goes off into the back somewhere. And then he comes back and he goes, all right, we'll be here in 30 minutes. I'm like, what? He's like, oh, well, the battery's not here. It's going to be driven by this guy over here. And so I'm doing calculus. I'm like, okay, if I wait 30 minutes for this battery to arrive, will that be faster based off the time I cut from traffic than if I just leave on a car now? And I'm trying to do this math in my head, understanding that I got a D+ in calculus when I was in high school. And I come to the conclusion that okay, I would actually save more time if I wait for the battery. So I wait. And to this guy's credit, they did get the battery in 30 minutes. What I didn't factor in is they needed someone to install said battery, which wasn't an insanely long process, but because they were also juggling other customers, ended up being closer to an hour. Around this time, because I was supposed to be doing a show for Twitch Rivals for Hassan called Debate Lords, I'm like, guys, some problems here with the battery. Might be a little bit late here. And Hassan smartly says, share me your location. And I'm like, yeah, I can do that. And so I share my location.
I've got some fresh
after I share my location, communication ceases. Nobody is sending me messages from the Twitch Rivals end. They have their homing beacon tracker on me, and they're using that plus the information from Google Maps to make all of their informed decisions. I don't end up leaving until 3. This adventure started at 11:30. It took 3.5 hours to resolve this battery issue. Bear in mind, I was supposed to be there at 4. So they've seen this. They've already made the executive decision to replace me on the show with Jason the Ween. Now, I drive down, I do my thing. I actually save a lot of time because it said 3.5 hours on maps. We make it in about 2 hours 15. Friend. And I think I get to the show about halfway through. I think there's 5 total segments. I get there before the 3rd segment starts. But bear in mind, I've already been replaced, so I'm just kind of sitting there. And they're like, yeah, you're just going to go on and help Baby No Money. He's in last place. What basically ends up happening if you didn't watch the show, if I can distill it for you, is last place, Baby No Money, in this debate show, gets assistance from me. I walk on. Hassan roasts me for being late. He does even worse with me on the stage than he did without me on the stage. We end up getting dead last, gifted a book that says how to win any argument because we're so bad at debating as a squad. And then we all pie Hassan in the face. I let him pie me because I felt bad because he was the only one getting pied. And I was like, I don't deserve to pie this man unless he pies me too. And then I had to take a shower. Now, we are sharing a hotel room. We being me and Cutie, me and my girlfriend. I called Cutie to try to get into said hotel because I do not have the key for it and I don't think my name is on the hotel. So I call Cutie. She picks up and I hear a lot of noise in the background. And she goes, hello? And I go, hey babe. And she goes, what do you think I'm doing right now? And I realize, because I look at the clock, she right now is doing a live podcast, whine about it, in front of like 100 people. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Okay. All right, my bad. And you know, we banter back and forth. I get out of the crowd. I'm a jackass. I hang up and I'm like, I need a different shower to go to. Luckily for me, I got a shower. Specifically, I was offered a hotel room, all right, by Twitch. And let me paint a picture for you, okay? This is gonna be important. Let me paint a picture for you. So this is TwitchCon San Diego. This is the bed, right? This is the ocean. There's ocean literally right here. In front of the ocean, almost directly in front, is the convention center, okay? To the right of the convention center is a hotel called the Marriott, and that one is usually purchased by people attending the conventions that are happening, aka like viewers, all right? Over here, across the street in the railroad, is a hotel called the Omni. This is the hotel room that Twitch basically booked a shit ton of rooms for and only allowed creators to enter. And this is where they offered me a hotel. Over here, across the street, is the Hilton. And this is kind of like the overfill. If you didn't order early enough to get a Marriott as a viewer, or if you didn't order early enough as a creator to the Omni, you end up at the Hilton. Now, I wasn't late. I booked my hotel room in the Omni. But bear in mind, I booked a hotel room just in case. I ultimately didn't need one because I'm staying with my girlfriend who also has a hotel room. And so I offered my hotel room to Nick Yingling, who was going to the event. I said, yeah, Yingo, you can have my hotel. Now, this is all important. I'm telling you all this information because Maya Higa, Cutie's best friend, famous Twitch streamer, animal lover, didn't book a hotel through the Twitch portal. For whatever reason, Twitch didn't give her the link to get a hotel. For some reason, they didn't give her a link to buy the hotel that all the Twitch streamers were at, but they did give her $100,000 for Alveus, her sanctuary on stage. There's some disconnect going over at Twitch headquarters. I don't know. She ended up at the Hilton, but she wanted to be at the Omni to hang out with Cutie and all the other streamers. And she said, Ludwig, if you have a hotel room, would you be down to swap? I said, yeah, that's whatever. Yingo's getting a free hotel room. I'm sure Yingling wouldn't mind being at the Hilton. It's an equal distance from the venue itself. We will swap. She goes, great. And so I call up Yingo. I go, Yingo, can I shower in your hotel room? He goes, sure. So I started heading over to the hotel room. As I'm getting closer to the Hilton, all right, bear in mind, I'm going to the Hilton, which is the hotel that now I have along with Yingling. This is going to matter so much. As I walk over, I hear... And I'm like, okay, like some tribal shit going on. It's weird. And then I start hearing muffled voices wait a bot. And I get a little closer and I start to hear, what do we want? Equal pay. What do we want? One job. They are on strike. The hotel is on strike. And littered in front of the hotel room doors are dozens and dozens and dozens of union workers who are arguing for higher wages. And I am standing there cream-pied with all my fucking shit, all my gear, with nowhere else to go, needing a shower, right in between a scab walking through the strike. I'm like, sorry. Now, I have parked my bike at the Hilton without knowing the strike was going on, because the parking garage is like, it's like over here for reference. And this is where Twitch told me to park it. So I parked it over here. Since I have a motorcycle, I literally skipped the payment part of it. I just parked my bike in like the area that's like, do not park here. Because that's kind of how us motorcycle drivers roll. So I go up, I take a shower, I leave all my stuff there. Because that same evening, I am going to go see Cutie's Wine About It show. She's doing 2 shows back to back. And I have like my motorcycle helmet, I have my jacket, I have my bag. I can't bring it all to my hotel room and walk around with it. It's too much. So I decide to leave my stuff there to get it later. So I leave the hotel, and I'm like cursing Maya's name. I'm with Yingling in Cam. I'm like, I can't believe Maya has hoodwinked us into staying at a striked hotel. We are scabs because we got the fucking short end of this stick. I didn't even buy this hotel. The hotel is not even in our name. It is still in Maya's name. Anyway, I ended up going to Wine About It Live. It was a great show. While I'm there, Yingling goes and starts drinking. This is also going to be important. Him and Cam decide to go to like 10 different bars and take a Jaeger bomb at each bar. During this journey, he runs into Cinna's father and starts ripping shots with Cinna's dad. I know about this because around midnight, I'm getting texts saying, where is Yingling? And when I look at my phone, the last text I got from him, I can literally read it out to you verbatim, is, yo, I'm ripping shots with Cinna's dad right now, LOL. And I'm like, okay, this dude's fucked up. Now me, I go to bed at a reasonable time. I think 1:30. And then I get up at 10:30. I sleep 9 hours. I have an excellent day. Because Saturday, I have a sponsor. If you guys didn't watch the stream, which 95% of you didn't, I did a sponsor with Samsung Mobile where we played PUBG. This entire day, though, Yingling is out of commission. He is like hungover. He's trying to deal with his hangover. He feels like shit. He basically spends the entire day in bed. Because of that, Sunday comes, he leaves. He's like, hey, man, I'm not feeling good. I'm just going to go home. And he leaves early. I'm like, all right, dude, no worries. And so me, Sunday, I have 3 things that I need to do. The first thing is get food with some friends. All right, Michael Reeves ended up during this whole entire weekend getting his bike impounded. His registration, he pulled a Ludwig, was out of date. His bike got impounded. He had to get his bike back. In the process of getting his bike back, which was a whole day's adventure in it of itself, 2 separate people in 2 separate locations in San Diego, when he asked them for food recommendations, told them to go to this one Filipino spot. And so after Michael comes back, it's like me, Michael, Lily, a few others. He's like, we gotta go to this fucking spot. I am going to blow up this spot right now. The reason is because it is so fucking good, and I also don't live in San Diego, so I don't mind if anyone who's visiting San Diego or lives in San Diego goes to this place and blows it up, because it deserves it. We end up going to this place called Tita's Kitchenette. Tita's Kitchenette is a Filipino spot. I have not had a lot of Filipino food in my life. It is not only the best Filipino food I've ever had, it is some of the best food I've ever had. After that, I'm the fullest I've ever been.
How's it going?
But Cutie has a cookie truck, and in it, she's giving away cookies and doing a meet and greet with her viewers. And I'm like, I gotta go to my girl's cookie truck. I'm leaving that day back to LA. So I'm like, all I have to do on my list is go to Cutie's cookie truck. So I message her. I'm like, I'm on my way. She goes, ugh, bad news. We are running behind, and I need major help from you. I haven't even had the chance. This is Cutie telling me this. She goes, I haven't had the chance to go into TwitchCon. I need you to go to TwitchCon and take the picture of me that's on the wall, because I haven't even got to see it yet. Because if you don't know, they basically like blow up these giant pictures of creators and they have them on like the wall as like murals, and she didn't get to see her own face on the wall and she wanted to see it. So she's like, can you do that for me? This is my new mission. This is my new mission. I have to do this for Cutie. I'm like, all right, I got you. I did not realize how hard this mission would be. I start this mission at 2 o'clock. This mission takes me about 3 hours because my experience at TwitchCon is different than many other people. TwitchCon, compared to every single other place on Earth at every other time on Earth, is the most famous I am in the world. I'm not saying this to brag. Just factually, a convention for Twitch streamers, as the guy who was the most subscribed Twitch streamer for a period, makes it harder to travel around. And so what I thought would be like, yeah, I'll fucking walk in, grab the pick, walk out, was a struggle. Because one person would come up, and then someone would see me, and it's not even on some like, oh my god, that's Ludwig, I love Ludwig shit. It's on some like, oh my god, I have collected 7 of the 10 fucking Pokemon badges that I want. And now I see Ludwig, this guy that I vaguely recognize, I want picture with Ludwig. That's what it is. A lot of people just want yeah, there's Ludwig. I'll get a fucking picture with him. He's right fucking there. Why not? And so I'm walking through, and in this journey that's supposed to take like 10 minutes, takes me like an hour and a half, just walking through, running into different people. And I finally find it. Here it is. She looks beautiful. I take my picture with it. You might notice someone took a picture for me. And that's because after a while, I developed a strategy. When people would come up to me and ask for a picture, I basically formed a team. I said, you can take a pic of me, but you have to find me QT Cinderella on the wall. We can travel as a pack together. I'll take a picture with you there, but I need to find this thing. So a group of like, not even like that many people, because most people who I told this were like, no, and they walked away. Most, like 95% of people that I told this to were like, yeah, I ain't doing all that. It's like, there's not, these guys don't fucking love me. They're not watching my stream. They just vaguely know me, and like they wouldn't mind a picture with me, but if it's slightly inconvenient for them, they don't actually fucking care. The 5 people who rolled up with me to Cutie's thing though were real fans, right? They're actually down to like walk around, explore a bit. We find it, they take the picture of me, and then I take the pictures with them. As I'm taking the pictures with them, one of the dudes is like, oh, dude, this is great. I actually just got a picture with Tyler 1. And I'm like, pause, wait, what? He's like, yeah, Tyler 1's doing his meet and greet right now. And I'm like, really? So I start heading over, and a plan forms in my mind. I'm like, what if I take a picture with him, but he doesn't know it's me? So as I'm walking over, I already have a hat on, which is, you know, part of the disguise. And I'm coincidentally wearing an LCS jacket because at the Samsung event, Double Lift left it behind. So you can't super see it, but this jacket right here says LCS. I'm only wearing it because Double Lift left it behind. I grabbed it for him. So I'm like, this kind of works perfect. I walk into this one person. Almost nobody at this convention is doing this, but one person I see is wearing a mask, like a COVID mask. You know what I mean? And I happen to see this guy. I'm like, yo, do you have an extra mask? And he's like, yeah. And he gives me a mask, and I throw it on, and I head over to the line. Now, Tyler 1 is very famous. And I say that because his line is
the momentum, friend.
His line goes for probably an hour, which is a problem because I'm trying to make it back to Cutie's cookie truck before it closes so I can see her before I'm driving away. So I go to the front of the line, and I'm wearing my disguise, and I ask a group of people, I say, hey, this is what I know, but do you mind if I cut in line with you guys? And they go, probably not. Maybe check the back of the line. And I'm like, yeah, fair enough. I go a couple of groups behind, and they start like chatting with me. I think because they heard me, they go, hey, what's up, man? I go, not much. And they're like, you having a good con? I'm like, we chat a little bit. I go, hey, can I come out with you? Because we had a bit of a rapport. They go, I don't know about all that. Maybe try a different line next time. This is gonna work for us. From those 2 conversations, somebody at the very front, or close to the very front of the line, goes, and I go, what up? And they go, can I get a picture? And I go, can I get in line with you? And they're like, sure. And now I have a much better spot in line than I would have from the first 2 groups. I take a picture with them. They're very sweet. They both used to play League. They play Valorant together as a couple. And I take off my mask, take a picture with them. The group that said no to me, right, on some Pretty Woman shit, goes like, dude, that was Ludwig. And I'm taking the picture. I'm not being like a dick about it, but in the back of my head, I'm like, you don't know how high I can fly. I'm on like some Michael Scott shit. I'm like, you should have got me when you had the chance. You treated me different when you didn't know who I was, and now you know who I was, and now you are acting differently. I'm living through a Darman video. But thanks to them, I'm far ahead in line now. I put the mask back on, and then I go on. And I didn't really even know what I was going to say. I just knew that I wanted to have this moment where I took off the mask. And this is what that ended up looking like.
I snuck into Tyler one's meet and greet, and this was his reaction.
So everybody has probably seen the picture that I posted on Instagram of Tyler's face when he realizes it's me in the line, with just an incredibly fed up face. Just fucking had it to here. Before that picture was taken, this is how the conversation went. I went, yo, Tyler, do you think I can be good at League one day? He goes, what's your rank? I go, I'm bronze 4 right now. And he goes, you're shit, you'll never be good. He doesn't know I'm Ludwig at this time. I just told him my genuine rank and how long I'd been playing. When I take off the mask, this is his face. I see his face. I go, it'd be funny if I put my arm around him. And in Tyler fashion, he blows up. And I'll let the rest of the conversation play out.
You are dog shit.
Hey, my favorite commander is back. Ready to get started?
Listen! I'll give you 1 compliment.
And that's how the conversation goes. And so, love it or hate it, League fans rejoice. The season ends in January. I have about 3 months to go from bronze 4, the bottom of bronze, to platinum. So all the way through bronze, all the way through silver, all the way through gold. And I get 1 compliment from Tyler after 3 years of him basically spitting the ground that I walk on. And then I have that great interaction. I'm like, this is fucking great. I need to go back to my hotel room. Excuse me. I need to go back to Yingling's hotel room because I left my motorcycle helmet there, right? This is past the picket fence. This is the Scav Hotel. I wasn't there the whole weekend, but I left my motorcycle helmet there, and I need to go grab it to drive back. As I'm walking, again, remember, it's impossible to walk anywhere. Just to give you some reference of how hard it is to travel, I eventually spotted tens in Kaide who were live streaming, and I came up with a bit of a strategy.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Oh my god.
Did you hear what I did earlier? I was getting bombarded, so I go, is that Tens and Kaide? And then I ran away.
Fuck you, bro.
Oh my god, that one wing!
Dude, stop!
So I'm throwing like smoke grenades. Is that Kaide intense? And I run.
Oh my god, I'm getting harassed. Who is this?
And it actually works. Even doing it jokingly,
I think you can
it
win
works.
this thing.
And so after that, I'm making my way to the hotel. All right, bear in mind, this hotel is on strike. And I go up to whatever floor we're on, and I use my key card. Doesn't work. And I call the window, and I'm like, what's the hotel number? And he's like, he tells me it, and I'm like, this is right. So I go downstairs. I'm like, hey, my key card doesn't work. And they're like, oh, yeah, let me check it. And then he goes, it looks like that hotel is only available until today. You were supposed to have checked out by 11 o'clock. The trade that we did with Maya not only was for a hotel room that was on strike, it was for a hotel room that was only available for 2 of the 3 days of TwitchCon, which I did not know. And I wasn't staying there, but I had things there. And at this point, it's like 4:30 p.m. because, you know, I've been getting stopped a few times. I went to do the Tyler thing, whatever. So I'm like, is there any way I can get my stuff? And he goes, yeah, can I get your ID? And he's looking at my ID, and he's like looking at the monitor. He's like kind of confused. He goes, you're not listed here. And I'm like, oh shit, how do I do this? And that morning, I had seen a clip of Cutie trying to get behind some TwitchCon security thing into some FaZe event and lying that Jason, the Ween, was her boyfriend. And they let her through. So thinking quick on my feet, I go, I'm Maya's boyfriend. And the security guard, or the guy behind the counter goes, oh, okay. All right, yeah, we'll call security and they'll escort you through. And I'm like, okay, cool with me. And in my head, I'm like, this shouldn't work.
How's it going?
This should be anyone could do this now. Like anyone could just say, hey, I am so-and-so's significant other. Let me into the fucking hotel room. That'd be horrible. Of course, it's not that easy. You see, a security guard comes after 10 minutes, and before we enter the room, he goes, tell me 3 specific items that are in that room and where you're going to find them. And I'm like, okay, sure. And I actually can do it. I'm like, there's a motorcycle helmet, there's a bright green backpack, and I have like a pink phone charger, something like that. You know, and the moment he unlocks the door and we get in, I show him all those things. He goes, okay, you are good to go. And because like I haven't packed anything because I thought I would have more time, I start making small talk with the security guard. I'm like, so what's up with the strike? Why aren't you on strike? You know, just asking general questions. And that's when this guy reveals to me, well, hey, I'm part of security. And he goes, he talks like Dwight Schrute. He goes, I am the eyes and the ears for the general manager. And I go, so what's the strike about? And he goes, well, the union has been on strike since September 1st. It is September 20th. It's a 3-week long strike. I didn't realize how long the strike was. A 3-week long strike. And he goes, they're asking for more money, of course. And I go, do they go on strike a lot? He goes, no, but if we give them what they want, they're just going to go on strike again. And he just kind of, I assume, parroting talking points from the general manager and higher ups at the Hilton. And I'm taking my sweet time packing my bag because I packed my bag very tightly. As I'm doing that, I think he's getting annoyed by the questions I'm asking. So he starts to say, let's hurry this up. And I'm like, well, okay, I have to pack my bag tightly. And in an attempt to make me go quicker, starts to open random drawers in the room to see if anything's in it. Now, because he is doing this, he comes onto a drawer that is actually full of clothes that are not my clothes. They are Nick Yingling's clothes. I have packed my bag so tight. I am on a motorcycle. I literally am driving the motorcycle from this area. I cannot carry this clothes. I cannot carry it. And so he goes, are these yours? And because I don't want to carry these, I go, no, which was a fucking mistake. Because now my story is falling apart because these are men's clothing and I'm the boyfriend. And he goes, well, whose clothes are they? And in a desperate effort to get out of the situation, I go, I don't know. Is there a way to find out? And he looks almost puzzled. He doesn't say much. I'm like, is there some way that someone else could get in this hotel room? And he's like very unamused.
Keep up the
listening to me
friend. Spiral
about my fake girlfriend Maya possibly having cheated on me with a guy that is Nick King. I'm like trying to like cope too. I'm like, is there any way that like a previous guest's clothes could be in here and cleaning staff would have missed it? You know, with the strike and all. He hasn't said a word the entire time I am spiraling. I have gotten all my stuff. He goes, sir, can you please leave? And I walk out and he stays in the hotel room, presumably to search it, while I go downstairs. I want a little bit of revenge. Maybe because I'm just mad that I had to go through this process to get my stuff. Maybe because the guy was so unamused with me. Maybe because they weren't like helping out the union. I had parked my bike there for 3 days. The price point for that, I believe, was $40 a day. I owed like $100 some odd in parking for my motorcycle. So the good news is that I drive a motorcycle. Because what a motorcycle can do when there's a giant gate that you can't drive through is just go, skirt, go around that shit, drop a little fuck you, and head on home. So I may or may not have allegedly driven off the Hilton property sans paying. All right, they might have gotten hit with a little bit. And then I make my way over to Cutie's meet and greet. I got a cookie. Here's a picture from it. The cookie was fire. It was a god-like cookie. She looked fire, as always. She's a beautiful woman. And then me and Michael made the beautiful drive north back to LA. And that was my TwitchCon San Diego experience. It was relatively lackluster, minus becoming a scab for a couple of days and going undercover to meet Tyler 1 and also having a fake girlfriend who ended up cheating on me, which, all things considered, is kind of par for the course for shit that happens at TwitchCon. And I guess also flaking on a son. Yeah, that's true.
I think you can win this thing.
I can now regale you with some tales of what happened in TwitchCon. And you might, at this point, have a single question, which is, Ludwig, you keep talking about TwitchCon. Aren't you a YouTube streamer? Are you even allowed to be here? Aren't you a YouTube? Are you allowed to be here? Fuck you! God damn it! I'm so happy I can say that now. Hundreds of people, swaths of people, just saying that everywhere I go. Yes, I am allowed to be here. Thank you very much. I bought a damn ticket. I'm not Aiden Ross. I can walk into the building without getting kicked out. I appreciate your concern. So anyway, I was at TwitchCon as a YouTube streamer. It is still somewhat valuable for me to try to go undercover at TwitchCon. Not like from the feds, not from the TwitchCon staff, but purely from viewers who, if I walk around, will absolutely mob me. And although I am allowed to be at TwitchCon, I'm not given like the same things that other Twitch partners are given. Like, I don't have a security guard who follows me around. I don't even have a partner badge. Like, I can't even get into the partner lounge. I have a community badge. Every badge is supposed to be like community, affiliate, or partner, or like maybe exhibitor. However, you'll notice something on this picture. And it's not the little cumboy bracelet. We'll get to that in a moment. We're going to talk about that. But I have this thing right here, which is actually really hype. This little like X allows me to go not into the partner lounge, but into the next level secret lounge. Because Twitch is a very big website. And so they have, you know, general admission, they have a partner area, and then they have like a primo partner area. And it's called the Purple Lounge. And my ticket had access, which not only meant that I could hang out and see people like Ranboo and XQC, but I also could use the back entrance to the convention center. From there, they weren't really guiding me, and I wasn't allowed to go like behind the stage in Twitch Rivals. So I had to fend for myself when I got to the actual floor. And so I came up with a genius disguise to sneak through all of TwitchCon. That's it. That was my whole disguise. I just wore this hat, which is Resorts World Las Vegas. And then I put on a like COVID mask. And I walked around and I just looked like a white guy. So anyway, I'm wearing my disguise. And the disguise works really well, as long as I don't make eye contact. Basically, if I walk around, everybody becomes a hitman like guard. And if I get kind of close to them, then like the yellow thing starts going. It goes. And if I make eye contact for more than a second, they'll do like a double take. This happens so many times. It'd be like a random person, like I'm walking through the convention center, right? Minding my own business. And then someone sees me and I look at them and then we lock eyes. They do this, they go. And so I had to make sure that I didn't keep eye contact. Otherwise the fucking hitman meter was, hey, are you Ludwig? So I was basically playing my own secret game of Hitman for the entire weekend, which was actually pretty fun. But I bet some of you here are thinking, Ludwig, that disguise probably did not work. I'm going to show you guys a quick video here of me saying hello to someone.
Let me guide you.
I wore my disguise and I went up to BoxBox and he had no fucking clue it was me. So I took off my mask and he still had no fucking clue it was me. It was only when I said, how you doing, man, that he recognized that, oh, wait, this is Ludwig. I have hung out with this guy before. In fact, the previous evening, we hung out for like an hour. So I was at TwitchCon for a couple reasons. One of the reasons, I had a sponsor at TwitchCon. I had a sponsor with actually Samsung. Some of you might have been there. I did a meet and greet at the Samsung booth. I met a lot of y'all. It was pretty fun. But they also wanted me to make like a YouTube short of my experience. But like, if I'm gonna make a YouTube short, I'm not just gonna be like, I went to TwitchCon. I'm here at the Samsung booth. It was cool. I want to do something kind of fun. So my big idea was that I would walk around disguised and try to meet as many streamers as I could. And it worked pretty well. But I went to meet Extra Emily at her meet and greet. And I walk up and I don't want to say anything because I've hung out with Emily. She knows my voice. So I walk up to her and I kind of act like No Face from Spirited Away. I kind of just go with my phone. I go, like signaling for a video. And she did not recognize me at all. But I also think that I kind of fucking scared her because I was wearing all black. I'm big as shit because I'm huge with my big muscles because I'm so big for you guys. And then I just left. And I was like, this was probably a bad call. I probably need to do this a little better. And so my new game plan, I went into another line. I went to Janet, Choco Bar's line. You know, same thing, all right? I pull up, I motion for the phone, and then I do the mask pull down. The moment I pull down the mask, she recognized me, and then she goes, dude, that was scary as fuck. I thought you were gonna kill me. So I stopped doing it because I felt a little bit bad that people felt their lives were threatened by my massive, huge, massive body that's big for you. My body's big for you. But that was my sneaking around. I've been at every TwitchCon since 17. This one was pretty good. The only thing that I'm going to flame Twitch for, what is this merch? This was their exclusive TwitchCon tee. Dude, what the fuck is this? And I say this as someone who has liked many of the old Twitch merch. Like, for a long time, I feel like they made some dope shit. This year, there was one cool item, and it was this cowboy hat, which is a bit gimmicky because you're not going to wear it day to day. And then it was mostly like repeats from previous years. And then this lineup. What is this circus clown fucking lineup? Back to it. At TwitchCon, I basically had one obligation. My only obligation that I had to do was a sponsor at the Samsung booth. And it was basically my version of a meet and greet. Because obviously, I'm a YouTube streamer. Twitch is not in the business of giving me a meet and greet spot because that wouldn't make any damn sense. So the only way I can do a meet and greet is a sponsored version. I was supposed to go to this booth for 4 hours. 90 minutes of it was supposed to be filming a short. An hour of it was supposed to be some like mobile game tournament. And then 1 hour was supposed to be a meet and greet. I was supposed to do a meet and greet for 1 hour. I ended up doing a meet and greet for about 4 hours straight. There were just so many of you guys who showed up. And I think what happens, and this is not to toot my own horn and say like I'm fucking famous as shit, but I think what happens, once people start to recognize me, usually the first people that recognize me are fans. People who like watching me, maybe who like watching the streams, maybe they like Mogul Mail, and they come up and they go, oh, you're a Mogul Mail guy. But then a group forms. And when other people see the group, they're like, oh, fuck. Well, hey, I will probably never, ever see Ludwig again in my life, and I paid money for this TwitchCon ticket. I'm going to go ask him for a picture. There are 3 phrases that people said to me more than any other phrase as soon as they would meet me. The first phrase is, hey, you're taller than I thought. A lot of people said this. It factually, many people came up to me and said, Ludwig, you are much taller than I thought. You are very tall in person. What a tall person you are. This is a true thing that happened. That was the #1 most popular thing people would say. The #2 most common thing that people would say when they meet me is, hey, can you take the picture? You have longer arms. I don't know where this sentence came from. I don't think I have very long arms. I think the reality is most people were nervous and their hands were shaking, so they weren't capable of taking a picture. But the way they would say it is, hey, can you take the picture? You got long arms. Second most popular phrase. The third most popular phrase, and I have to preface, this one fucking hurt my feelings. The third most popular phrase that I heard. Hey man, I don't really watch you, but can I get a picture? And my ass is sitting there like, well, fuck you. I don't really watch your ass. So I sit there and I take the damn picture, feeling like a clown. But those are the most popular things that people were saying. The meet and greet went great though. One weird thing, this is the first time this ever happened to me. One weird quirk of TwitchCon this year is that people at the meet and greet had gifts for me, which is not really something I am used to. I know that's very popular in the Minecraft community. When they do meet and greet, they walk out of there like a fucking trick-or-treating fiesta. But this time, I actually got some shit from viewers. And it's not because you guys magically became more passionate viewers. That's not the case at all. It is thanks to a one QT Cinderella. Because Cutie started a trend this year. Cutie told all her viewers to make sure to show up with bracelets. And Cutie herself made 130 bracelets. I was watching TV every night next to her while she made bracelets to give to her viewers. I didn't do shit, but a lot of people who like Cutie happen to also like me to some degree, and so people also made bracelets for me. And that brings us to a problem. Because I don't feel comfortable getting bracelets from people that call me a pussy and then little cum boy. And now is where we have to draw a line. I don't think that I should be subjected to a 28-year-old man, middle 20s, that's what they call us, mid-20s, bracelets that say these things. It's humiliating. And remember this bracelet because I wore it the entire weekend and it did come back to bite my ass. But let's continue because I got many more bracelets. It was very sweet to meet everybody. And after the meet and greet, I was done. I had nothing else to do at TwitchCon but hang out with people. That was my sole responsibility, is hang out with people, have a generally good time. And after that, it was time to go to the big party of TwitchCon. Because most people actually don't go to TwitchCon, and when I say people, I mean specifically creators. They don't go to TwitchCon to go to the event. They most of the time go to TwitchCon to go to the after parties. And Saturday night was the big night of the day for parties, because Offline TV was hosting a party with Dolce & Gabbana and Razer. And very conveniently, the only reason that I was kind of happy to go to this party in this club, because I am not a club guy. However, it was a little better here, because everyone who was at a table, if you ever go to a club, you'll notice there are tables everywhere, right? Usually it's like, some fucking rich, ugly dude and a bunch of hot girls at a table with alcohol that is way too expensive and people with big flashing lights walking all around. Here, however, every table was like a different faction of Twitch. So I'd go to a table and it'd be like, boom, Valorant table, boom, Minecraft table, boom, variety streamer table. And so it's kind of fun to walk from table to table because they, I would know at least one person at the table. They would give me a free drink. I would go to my next table. I'd get another free drink, yada, 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 so on and so forth. And I had the privilege of being at the coolest table at this specific event because I got like a super VIP wristband that allowed me to be behind the DJ, which is like, I think the coolest spot in a club because you're next to the person who's actually working. And we get there, and at the start, although this is like the most, biggest party of the night, it's dead. There are not many people in there because there was such a huge line outside. I don't know how to fucking tell you. There was a line of maybe 500 people outside because everybody in TwitchCon heard about this party, wanted to get into it. Outside was this Clout Olympics game. It was embarrassing. It was basically a bunch of people looking at the people who had already gotten in and all the bouncers and poking their head out and be like, do you know me? I stream. It was cringe. And I was right fucking in there. Broden, YouTube guy. I'm not above being fucking cringe to get into the goddamn club. I made that shit happen. And let me tell you, it fucking worked. As opposed to the club the night before. Because they had a club the night before. I think Diplo played at it. A lot of streamers were there. Everyone had a table. Bottles were flowing at the table. At this club, the table that we were at had no alcohol. It had orange juice and it had cranberry juice. And I ask around. And I'm like, are they going to bring alcohol? And eventually somebody's like, oh, well, someone has to buy it. And they looked at me like this. Somebody has to buy it. So I asked for the waitress. And waitresses at clubs, and I'm saying this in a very nice way, they're fucking snakes. They are damn good at their job. She comes up and she's like, here you go. Oh, hi, what's your name? I'm like, Ludwig. She's like, haha, that's funny. I'm like, what? Why? She's like, can I call you Lou? I'm like, no, it's Ludwig. It's like, Ludwig, great name. I'm wearing like Mater Crocs. She's like, great shoes. I'm like, yeah, let's get on with it. And she's like, all right, Lou, let's take a look at the menu. She goes through 5 different $10,000 to $30,000 items on the list. And all I want is a big bottle of vodka. Give me big bottle of vodka so we can all take shots of big bottle of vodka and we can have fun, get drunk quicker, and then move on with our night. There's 2 vodka options. Option number 1, Tito's bottle. Option 2, Tito's Magnum. Option 1, $750. Option 2, $1,500. So I'm like, I'll just get the Tito's. And she goes, I was like, what? She's like, yeah, we only have a Magnum. I'm like, all right, we'll do the Magnum. I buy this $1,500 bottle of alcohol. We do a big group of shots. And at this point in the night, Cutie wanted to leave, right? And so as I walk her out, we walk through the back room, and I shit you not, I see a storage room filled with alcohol, including the bottle of alcohol that she said was sold out. I'm not a fucking alcohol expert, but I looked at that and I'm like, that I'm pretty sure is a $750 version that I got charged $1,500. I go back, we hang out for a bit, right? We're taking shots, we're chatting, I'm chatting with different people. I have an idea because at our table happens to be a one Lily Pichu. And if you guys know anything about me and my interactions with Lily Pichu on stream, I happen to enjoy occasionally bullying Lily Pichu.
I feel like when you banter, or sometimes I feel like I can't banter as easily as you or Toast, for example.
Because you're a girl?
Yeah.
I think it's harder for a girl, but I also just think you're not funny.
Can we cut?
It is easy. A crippling problem Lily has is she's very anxious. Very anxious. doesn't love, you know, big public displays and fanfare and performances. And so I thought, how fun would it be if I got one of those huge fucking signs with all the bright lights and all the fucking people walking around it, and it said, "Happy birthday, Lily Pichu." And with the help of Peter, we were trying to think, if we were to do this, what should we put on the sign? And the idea we came up with that we wanted, Lily Pichu is a bitch, was Peter's idea. I'm throwing him under the bus. It was Peter Park's idea. But I was like, son of a bitch, you might be onto something. I tell the waitress, instantly she's like, don't love it, but I'll come up with something that will work. I'm like, all right. And she's like, would you like a bottle of alcohol with this? I'm like, sure. She's like, somebody in your group mentioned tequila. I'm like, that's great. I just want the birthday thing. Can I get the birthday thing? She goes, of course. She goes out. 10 minutes later, she comes back. I'm hanging out with Lily for like 8 of those 10 minutes. I look away for like a second. I turn around. Lily is gone. And out come, as she is gone, the birthday crew. Happy birthday to... And I'm like, wait. And they hide the signs. I'm like, she's not here yet. And they're like, okay, can we open the bottle of alcohol? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. It takes Lily so long to get back that they finished the entire bottle of alcohol for the supposed birthday shots that we needed to do. So the waitress comes back over. She's like, we're out of alcohol. She's like, do you want another bottle of alcohol to, like, you know, celebrate with? And I went from a guy who's supposed to spend money on 1 bottle to my 3rd fucking bottle. I'm like, fine. Yes, please. Can I do the Tito's regular? She's like, Magnum only. I'm like, right, of course. I forgot Magnum only. Yes, the Magnum then. And in a way, it was all worth it because Lily comes up to me. I'm standing on this red couch. And Lily comes up to me and she goes, hey, why is everybody saying it's my birthday? And I'm like, I got no clue. She's like, okay, yeah, I don't know. Everyone's saying it's my birthday. And that's when I say, and this happens.
Did you do this?
At this point, it's worth noting, if it's not clear by now, it's not her fucking birthday. Her birthday's like in a couple months or some shit. I don't know. She's turning 43 or something. But it was a joyous occasion watching her have to deal with this and then watching her have to talk to every single person in that group who would say happy birthday and she would have to go, it's not my birthday. And then fucking Maddion comes out, whom I love dearly, and starts playing. And the night is going phenomenally. Everything is going how I want it to. And I start to do a round, right? Because one of the things that I like to do if I'm at a club is I like to go to every table to meet people that I wouldn't normally get to meet because, well, I live in LA and they might not. But everyone is there for TwitchCon, so it's really easy to just go up and be like, oh, hello. You know, like I got to meet Summit 1G more times than I ever have. But one of the rounds, I would hit a table where every time I would walk up to this person, they would respond with this. And this Nintendo Joy-Con was not actually a Nintendo Joy-Con. It is a euphemism for a vape pen. Mysterious vape pen, you know, number 73. And every time I would be like dutifully like, okay, hand back the vape pen. But I have to say, this unnamed person's pen had some fucking hands. And so it hit me like a goddamn bus. And I say that because then the waitress came back. And at this point, Maddion has performed. I've had a good night. I want to cash out my check. I want to close out my card, right? This is me trying to close out the books. As I'm doing it, and this is why I know she's fucking good at her job and she probably gets a shit ton of money. I'm looking at this check and she's explaining it all to me and I am fucking zonked out of my mind. I barely understand a word that is happening and I'm trying so damn hard. I remember even now being in that moment, like trying so hard to deconstruct the receipt like it's a word problem in the 5th grade. And she's sitting there and she's like, so here's the receipt. As you can see, there's a 15% gratuity included, but there's an additional place where you could leave a tip for me and for Luke. And she points at this guy and there's this big ass fucking dude in front of me I've never seen until that point in the night. And he looks at me, he's like, and I'm like, that's Luke? Okay. I feel like I've already tipped, but I'll throw in a light 100. I've already done a 15% gratuity. This is, you know, so I'm looking through and I see the total. The total is $9,880. The birthday celebration was $5,000. I had no clue. I didn't look at a birthday menu of costs. I just wanted to prank my friend Lily Pichu because I thought that was funny. It's the consequences of my own actions. And I'm looking at them. I'm looking at this fucking number and I'm like, oh, son of a bitch. All right, I just want to put $100 on. But because I have seen the dark ends of the euphemism Nintendo Joy-Con, I put $100 in the tip section. But in the total, I couldn't do the math. I couldn't do it. I'm not fucking with you. I sat there. It was $9,000. I remember it, $880.68. And I put down $10,988, aka an $1,100 tip. And she's like, great, sign here, initial here. And the process for this is not like a restaurant, because you do not fill out the receipt once. You fill it out twice. And it was only on my second receipt that I'm like, hold up, I have too many damn zeros, but not nearly enough hundreds to make up that amount of zeros. I have fucked up somewhere. And so on the second one, I somehow do the math worse. The number in the total, I think, was less than the amount without the tip. And at this point, she has recognized that I am fucked up. She's like, I have to get a new receipt. I'll be right back. She comes back with a flashlight this time, and she has like on her phone, like a calculator, and she's like, this is the total. I'm like, $100 tip? She's like, yes, $100 tip is nice. That's very generous. Thank you. And it's like, oh, it's $9,980. Cool. And I finally pay. I close it out. It's all good. And I didn't get scammed out of 1,000. I only got scammed out of $10,000 at this club. And I realized as I'm leaving the club, I'm like, ah, fuck. I forgot my key to the hotel room. I left it in the hotel. Cutie's asleep. I got to go get a new key. So I go to the front desk. I'm just soaking in the night. I feel great. You know, I'm still buzzing. And I'm sitting there, my hands on the desk, and they're getting my key. And the lady behind the counter goes, does that say little cum boy? And I immediately crash down to earth. And I snap out of this high that I'm feeling. And it zooms in. I'm like,
I will always attack.
how'd I get over that conversation? I said, and I quote, yeah, and this one says pussy. And then she gave me my key and I walked away. I guess the conclusion and the moral of this story is that it feels great when the online world goes to IRL, but let's leave the TTS little cum boy out of it. And next time I do a meet and greet, please, no bracelets that say that, or call me a pussy, or say anything of the sorts.
This is a no-fly zone.
How many people were at VidCon? How many people went to VidCon? Some of you went to VidCon, but I know not a lot of you did, because when I went to VidCon this year, I basically went for 2 days. And if you've never been to a VidCon before, you're not that weird, because I've never been to a VidCon before, and I'm a goddamn YouTuber. This is my first ever VidCon. The only reason that I went to VidCon this year is because I got an email from the people at VidCon and they invited me. And I said yes, because last VidCon, when they threw it, the final day of VidCon, they rented out all of California Adventure, one of the theme parks in Disneyland. And for 3 hours, they let only creators, invited creators, go to Disneyland, ride all the rides with no lines, no other people. It was just basically YouTubers taking over this area. So I was like, that sounds fucking dope. I will 100% do VidCon just for the invite to go to California Adventure. You guys might think that VidCon is a YouTube convention, similar to TwitchCon. It is the counterpart. Not the case at all. If you don't know, VidCon was created by the Green brothers, Hank Green and John Green. They made VidCon as a sort of video conference for YouTubers, but it's not exclusive to YouTube. And they eventually sold it to a different company, and it's usually sponsored by YouTube, but last year, it was actually sponsored by TikTok. And I was like, ugh. And so this year, they've returned it back to YouTube. YouTube decided to sponsor it again. I think YouTube considered making their own con, and then we're like, wait, this is actually like really hard, and then quit. And then we're like, hey, we'll just sponsor VidCon. That's basically what happened. Don't say Omegalol LD. I'm not old. I'm just older than TikTokers, which is normal. You're always going to be older than people. All right, someone was born right now, so whatever. So this year, sponsored by YouTube. Good for me. And also, I want to go to California Adventure. So I basically have 2 goals for VidCon. Goal number 1 is schmooze with YouTube bigwigs, higher-ups, the Neil Mohans, all right? The big shots of the world, so that I can hopefully renew my YouTube contract and also make YouTube Live better. And then goal 2 enjoy the fuck out of California Adventures. So I basically signed up for 2 days of VidCon. Again, I've never been to a VidCon before. So I pull up to VidCon, and in the whole time before VidCon happens, the communication is very intense. I've never experienced this. You know, I've been at TwitchCon, and it's kind of like, yeah, if your partner like pull up, like we have like a line for you, and like if you're like really a big deal, you can like kind of ask somebody to get you a badge or whatever. It's all very like, you know, make it up as you go along. VidCon, not the case. I was told in 3 separate emails that I was not allowed to walk the floor by myself. That is how strict they were. The actual convention floor, they said you cannot go unless you are accompanied by security guards. I was like, the fuck? I'll just throw on a goddamn hat. I'll throw on a COVID mask if need be, and then I'll walk through. Nobody will notice. But that's the VidCon rules. So first day I go to VidCon, I have like a panel with people at YouTube Gaming, and then I also have a couple of internal meetings. Spicy. So I show up bright and early. It was run by Leo, who's the guy who's the head of YouTube Gaming. On the panel was Dr. Lupo, Fusely, I believe a woman named Christina, who I met that day, Matt Pat, and Steph, and me. Honestly, I don't know what the fuck I was doing there. Zero prep at all. They were just kind of like, go up on the stage. And we were like, okay. And Leo will ask you questions. And we're like, all right. Here's a funny thing, though. Before the panel started, Leslie was next to me, nervous as all hell. I don't know why. She streams in front of thousands of people, but a crowd of 200, suddenly she was freaking out. So right before, she's kind of nervous, and you know, I'm like, yeah, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. And they're handing out all the mics to everybody. Everyone gets their own individual microphone. And Leslie's the last one in line. And they're like, ooh, ran out of microphones. They just ran out. The microphone store only had 6. I don't know what the fuck happened. There were clearly supposed to be 7 people on the panel. She's sitting on the far end. I am the only one next to her, so I have to share the microphone with her. And, you know, I'm trying to hand it off. And every time I give her the microphone, she, like, instantly hands it back to me. And I am an asshole. But when I see somebody who's somewhat, you know, uncomfortable, I think it's funny. And so... one of the questions that Leo asked, and they were very like, they were like softballs. It was like, who's your favorite creator right now? And everyone goes around and everyone talks. And I give the mic to Leslie to go first. She's like, you know what? I've been watching a lot of Ludwig play Only Up. I like watching Ludwig. And then she hands it over to me. And then without skipping a beat, I go, you're not even in my top 10. Crazy, I'm number 1. You're not cracking single digits here, buddy. Which was mean. I felt bad about this happening. Because, like, I'm friends with Leslie, too. I'm friends with Leslie. But when she reduces herself in terms of, like, self-confidence to the height of a child-sized basketball net, I'm holding the basketball. All I can think to do is dunk. It's just in my DNA. It's the intrusive thoughts and they're winning. I apologized after. I apologized profusely. It was funny though. It got laughs. All right, it got laughs. Fellas, please. But I had to dunk on the child-sized net. And so the panel goes off without a hitch. I talked to Leo. This is my first time ever meeting Leo. It's the guy who runs YouTube Gaming. I'll be honest. I thought he was maybe a boomer because he came from Facebook and I was like, well, I mean, that website's in the fucking dump. Turns out he is a gamer. Like a bigger gamer than almost anyone I have ever met. A bigger gamer than me, a bigger gamer than Nick. An obsession with gaming that I have never witnessed before. Every conversation would be about gaming. And at a certain point, I was like, dude, you're like having meetings, right? Like you're a head of YouTube gaming. You'll meet with every major production studio. You'll meet with everyone. You're meeting with all the bigwigs. You know way more about gaming than all of them. Aren't you getting diminishing returns knowing this much about gaming? Like being this much of a gamer? He's like, thinks about it for a moment. He's like, well, it helps a lot being the gaming guy, but yeah, you might be right. But I just like video games. I was like, that's tight. You know what? Yeah, that's fucking tight. I am on board, Leo, with the gaming love. I can respect this. And after this round table in front of everybody, we go behind closed doors. And I don't know how much I'm allowed to leak here, so I got to be a little cautious. But we have a behind closed door meeting with all of the bigwigs at YouTube. And in the room it's like a few other creators. Fusely's there, Dr. Lupo was there, Dream was there. And Dream, son of a bitch, I got a bone to pick with Dream. We have 1 hour to talk to these people. 1 hour to like level and be like, hey, this is what we want. Or be like, hey, what are you working on? This is what we need for you to work on. And Dream gets in there, you know, God bless Dream, great YouTuber, big YouTuber, successful, millions and millions of followers. But he asks a question that spawns a 30-minute conversation. And I'm sitting there And he has this idea for a product that's basically, and I'm simplifying it, but adding unique tabs to YouTube homepages so that you can customize it in a way that you couldn't before. Kind of like having your own website. Not a bad idea intrinsically, but I know how YouTube operates. And the way YouTube operates is they like simplifying user experiences. They don't like user confusion. They don't like multiple choices. They like it to be across the board the same. Of our hour time, we spend 35 minutes talking about this. 35. And at a certain point, one of the guys who was like lead of a certain group at YouTube, he was like, seems like you guys are passionate about this. We could probably talk about this for another 3 hours. Is this the biggest thing you care about? And I was like, thank you, Lord. No, it's not even top 50. It's maybe 51. And finally, of our hour meeting, we have 25 minutes left. And I get to the big issue at hand. A problem that I have felt for a long time. And I've known since I joined YouTube that YouTube is generally slow at adding new features and what I would say fixing things. But they're not slow all the time. And so I talked about how there's a lot of features or lack of features for horizontal live streaming that are available on Twitch or other websites that make it more difficult to stream on YouTube. And this is not a shot at anybody, but I think across the board, it is pretty apparent that anybody who switches from Twitch to YouTube, knowing all of what they know to stream on Twitch, struggle to stream on YouTube because it is somewhat of a different game. It is just harder to do. Not to say you cannot be successful, not to say that you can't be more successful, but it is a different skill streaming on YouTube versus streaming on Twitch. And there's a lot of quality of life on Twitch that exist that make it easier, more fun, more successful to stream. And it would help if YouTube had some of those things. And I brought a lot of it up because I've already been on YouTube for almost 2 years now. You know, I've been here for a couple of years. And when I first started, I thought in my head, like, yeah, they'll be slow, but they'll probably catch up to Twitch in 3 years. That's what I thought. I always thought, yeah, they'll be slow, but in 3 years they'll catch up. And 2 years have passed, and I'm still giving myself the same time frame. Okay, yeah, they're slow, but it's still another 3 years. And I realized part of the problem is that there's no fire under their ass. Like right now, if you think about the biggest threat to YouTube's existence, it is not Twitch. Let's be real. Colloquially, we talk about Twitch as if it's a dying entity. Now, they're still market share leaders, yada, yada, but their graph trending downwards in all metrics, right? Their graph trending downwards in public perception. So there's no fire under YouTube's ass to catch up to what Twitch has, because if they catch up to what Twitch has, they're basically joining a train that is going downhill. Now, where is a fire under YouTube's ass? TikTok. That is a trend that is going up very fast. So I feel like things that they are considering are less, hey, what is Twitch doing? And it's more like, oh, what is TikTok doing? They're thinking about things like YouTube Shorts, maybe, you know, vertical live streams, maybe the way that TikTok uses monetization with their integrated like emotes that you can pay for. Those are things that they feel a fire under their ass to do and will probably release quickly, and they feel zero fire for any of what Twitch has, which makes sense to me, but is also a bummer because in my mind, there is a big opportunity that exists in the horizontal live streaming space. Twitch, very stagnant. Kick, a lot of dubious reasons that people don't enjoy the website. There's an opportunity for big YouTube to take over, but there's no fire. There's no need to rush to fix it. I am both worried and hopeful. I'm worried because I realized after the conversations that I like YouTube. I would not mind staying with YouTube, but I might be on my way out by the time YouTube is fixed. I might be on my way out. I'm 20-7. I turned 28 in 2 damn weeks. By the time I'm 30, they might have caught up, but I'm going to be 30 fucking years old. How the hell am I going to be making content for someone who's 18, 19, 12 years older? What the hell do we share in common? But I'm hopeful because I do think that YouTube will be a very legitimate contender in English-speaking audiences to other horizontal live streaming sites in 3 years. I left the meeting feeling confident that they're not about to quit on live, but they're not going to rush to win the live market. That was generally how the meetings went. And I spoke to quite a few people at YouTube. And there's one person who I wanted to speak to, who was the head of YouTube Live, who I found out very quickly wasn't there at all. Hell, I spoke to like 15 YouTube employees. None of them ran the YouTube Live department. However, every YouTube employee who comes up to me, I think I might be one of the most popular creators amongst YouTube employees. Not because my videos are amazing or whatever, I'm relatable or I make funny content. Everybody is seeing this as an interview. I think they show it to YouTube employees as a part of the onboarding experience. Everybody brings it up to me. So basically, I need to do an interview with Neil yesterday so I can get famous amongst YouTube employees again. Get myself another YouTube contract. You know what I'm saying? All right, Neil, your people talk to my people. Also, one more thing. On Thursday, when I'm at VidCon, I realized none of the creators actually hang out at VidCon. Like, VidCon is held in the Anaheim Convention Center. All of the creators hang out at this hotel that they buy out the entirety of. I think it's called the Hyatt. Next to the large Hyatt that you could stay at as a normal person, there's a smaller, fancier Hyatt called like the Hyatt Regency. They buy out the entire building, all right? It's like 12 floors. Every single hotel room's bought out. And they invite creators to fill up every room in those hotel rooms. You can't even get into the hotel unless you are a creator. There's like security everywhere. And all the creators have just congregated in this hotel. And you walk around and like a lot of people you won't recognize, but then it's like, oh, that is Smosh. Oh, that is Quackity. Oh, that is, Connor Dog, voice actor. It's like only YouTubers. It's kind of a weird place. And I talked to everybody, and here's the weird thing about VidCon, and it made me feel like, why would you go to this if you were a viewer? None of them like going to the convention center. Like across the board, when they talk about the things, the activities that they need to do in the convention center, like the whole reason we are all here, VidCon, they're all like, I gotta do a panel in an hour. I gotta meet and greet in a couple hours. And it's like going to work, and they go to do their job, and then they come back, and then they're like, oh, now I get to hang out with what I want to do. And I'm like, kind of sad, because although TwitchCon is somewhat similar, it feels a little better because everyone's housed in the same building. And there's like a Twitch partner lounge, but at least they're in the same building, and at least they walk through the same sort of areas. In VidCon, it's like, here, kiss the finger. All right, I gotta go. See you later, fuckers. Well, I realized the reason is because there are so many fucking YouTubers. Like, Twitch is still a generally small website. I know pretty much every top streamer, right? I've at least interacted with them. Maybe we're mutuals on Twitter. Everyone with some sort of following I've met at some point. YouTube is too big to do that. If you wanted to meet every person with 1 million plus subscribers, you'd have to meet like 100,000 people. There are a lot of goddamn people, and I found out the hard way. Because I didn't realize that the Hyatt was exclusive to creators because people kept coming up to me. And this is not a flex, but I would walk around and I would end a conversation. And then like I would enter into someone's AoE and another conversation would start. And I felt like a Skyrim NPC that just had the hottest commodities and everybody wanted my wares. Because I would take one step and it'd be like, how's it going? My name is Eldrick's son. I make Lego movies. And I'm like, crazy. And they have like 500,000 subscribers. And then I'll take another step and I'll be like, greetings, traveler. My name is Stewart. I make small little Roblox videos. 1 million subscribers. And I'm like, great. So many people would come up, and it's very cool to meet all these people. Finally, I escaped, due in part to the sweet clutches of Dr. K. And I got wrapped into a conversation with Dr. K. And he had like an aura around him that people did not interrupt the conversation for. I had a wonderful conversation with him. And then I leave. And after I left, I came to the conclusion that I don't know if I really enjoy VidCon as a human. It just seems it's pretty draining. The panels are fun but somewhat stressful, and it is a lot of people to meet. Saturday I go back to VidCon, and Saturday is packed. I have a basically a 10 a.m. to like 5 p.m. day. Like a full day at VidCon with every hour something else to do. And the first thing I was supposed to do was at 10 a.m. I had a panel with chess people. I don't know why the fuck I was invited to do a chess panel. I don't even know how they decide who does a panel or how a panel is made at all. But I was somehow lumped into doing a panel with the Botezes and Michelle Carre for chess. I'm not good at chess, but I was like, all right, I'll do it. And so I'm going to drive to VidCon, and I realized I have no idea where the fuck to go. I went to the public parking garage. It was $20. I was like, $20 fucking, Jesus Christ. And then I walk out and I'm just in the convention. I broke the one rule I was not supposed to break. I was instantly just in the convention with a bunch of people. And people looked at me like I was an alien, because I don't think any creators just walk around. Even Dream, I heard Dream walked around with an entourage that was like Floyd Mayweather. Like, he walked around like 30 bodyguards. You could not get within 12 feet of Dream if you wanted. Me, I was just like walking around. And I realized it was weird because instantly I started getting a lot of looks, and people weren't even asking to like get a picture and autograph. They're just so weirded out that I was in the convention that they were like, wait. And I was like, sup? But I was like, oh wait, maybe this is bad because this might create a group of people. So I had a secret strategy. walking through the convention, because it's a pretty large convention space, I disguise myself. Hold up, I'm gonna show you my disguise. What's up? Name's Anders. Worked like a fucking charm. All right, I'm cruising through that convention. They're like, who's that weird guy? Nobody notices. But because I was parking in like the main area, and because I was lost, I was 10 minutes late. I felt kind of bad about this. I was literally 10 minutes late to the panel. Like, I arrived at the panel that starts at 10 at 10:05 or something. And the issue is sometimes they give you like a microphone. Like you know, some microphone to speak into it. Yeah. Sometimes, however, they give you those boy band mics. Like the one that boy band on SpongeBob uses, and it just goes right around the ears, and it's like one little thing that pops out here, and you talk like this. Those fucking suck. Because not only are they somewhat uncomfortable in the head, they are incredibly difficult to speak loudly into. Because it's not in front of your mouth, it's on the side. And so I realized very quickly the audience couldn't hear us. So first panel of the day, 10 a.m., haven't had a sip of water, haven't had a sip of coffee, haven't had any food. I am yelling at this chess panel, no fucking clue what I'm doing there, because we're playing hand brain, which is where one person says what piece to move, the other person moves the piece, with two damn near chess professionals, the Botezes, and me and Michelle. And I'm sitting there yelling the whole time. And quickly I realized that everybody in the audience doesn't play chess. Like, certainly some people did play chess, and some people like have played chess and know how it works, but they're looking at a screen that shows the chess moves, and they're like, this means nothing to me. And I'm like, oh, this is boring as fuck. So then I start going full, you know, developers. I start hooting, I start hollering. But doing that, I'm losing my voice. And after the panel's done, voice gone. It's 11 a.m. I have 6 hours to go. Now, one of the cool things about VidCon is in the back, behind the curtains where only the creators go, they have free food. And you know what? Like, I don't want to say that made it all worth it, but it kind of made it all worth it. It's not like good food, but it's like free bananas, free snackies, free coffee, free tea. So I'm going crazy on the chamomile tea with honey. And then I have 1 hour. This is my 1 hour break where I can do whatever I want. I can eat lunch before I have a long day. So I'm on my way to eat lunch, and I get stopped. And this is a raid boss of a stop. I get stopped by two VC dudes. God bless their heart. They're working on a cool project, whatever the hell. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to leak it. And I'm trying to like entertain it and be nice and be polite. But I'm like, bro, I have 1 hour. This is all I have today. This is all I have. And they're going off and they're telling me their pedigree, and they have VC funding, and they went to a cool university, and they've name dropped Mr. Beast. They basically hit all the markers of a VC conversation. Funding, pedigree, Mr. Beast. Bang. And at the end, they're like, what do you think about your audience in incorporating this technology? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, what? Like, they're like, why? I'm like, I just don't like making my viewers spend money. I'm already rich. And they're like, all right. And they leave. And I'm like, great. That was easy. 40 minutes passed. Fuck me, dude. 40 minutes passed. I lost my whole fucking lunch break. I have to go straight to my booth. I had a booth, and I got to meet a lot of viewers, a lot of you guys. We had a disability line, which I only am saying because everybody who was in the line was like, hey, it is so cool you have this. Nobody else has this. It's so nice of you. I was like, yeah, for sure. I'm super passionate about this. I was super aware of this. Didn't even think about it. Whoever thought of that on our team, great job. Because I didn't even consider that. I pretended. I took all the credit. I was like, yeah, 100%. 100%. That was Bond? Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Shout out Bond. Yeah, they're good. It basically turned into a 45-minute meeting, which was fine, except for this like 9-year-old kid, this little fucker who was front of the line. And he's just sitting there the whole time I'm meeting all these people in the disabled line. He's going, every time I turn around. Every time I turn around, it's a kid going. I'm like, dude, how are you doing this? Where's your mom? His mom? Right there. Stop it, Henry. Stop it. Kid. You're short. Funny kid, sweet kid. It was just insane to me, the scene that was going on there. What was cool though is I realized women and the gays way more proactive about doing stuff, just in general. And I've noticed this my 6 years streaming, and my theory was that guys are lazy, which I think is part of it. But I also think there's this weird thing where guys are too self-conscious or insecure to actually be a fan of something. And girls are like very cool with just being a fan. Like they're aware, like, hey, I am a fan of this thing. I like this thing. That is okay. I like celebrating the fact that I'm a fan and celebrating with other people who are fans. Guys are like, I'm not a fan of anything at all. I have no heroes at all except for myself and who I will be in 10 years. That's my hero. And so it actualizes is at VidCon, mostly women. My meet and greet line was over 50% women. And so it was kind of cool though. So I do the meet and greet. Meet and greet goes great. After the meet and greet, I do a boxing panel, which I have no business being on. And the panelist, sweet guy, but he prepared questions clearly for boxers. And like I did run a large boxing event, but his questions were like, hey, how was training for boxing? And then he'd ask everybody in order and then he'd go to me. And then I was like, really hard. So I ended up just being a second moderator on this panel. After the panel, the thing that I was the most nervous doing happened. It was me meeting with people from Make-A-Wish, which I've never done this. And there's like a weird pressure that I had felt when I found out, because I didn't find out till the weekend of. And so like I like kind of hyped this thing up in my head. I was like, oh, how do I like give them experience? If they want to meet Ludwig, they want to meet Ludwig. Like, how do I do this? And right before I'm about to go, like on the ride over, Yingo, he's in the car with me. He's like, yeah, actually a lot of families dropped. I was like, what do you mean they dropped? Like they're here, they dropped? Like they don't want to meet anymore? Like what's going on? Like I realized they're not there for me. There's a basically collaboration between VidCon and Make-A-Wish. And
Nice
the wish
workout
is
there.
VidCon.
Keep
It's like
up
being a
the pressure.
YouTuber. And if you want to be a YouTuber, what's the greatest wish you can get? Well, go to VidCon and meet any YouTuber you want to meet who's there. And I think they got basically a list of YouTubers who were there and also down to do the Make-A-Wish. And they were like, check, 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 check. And so I think like 5 families were like, yeah, Ludwig. And then the day of, when they're like, oh yeah, now you have to meet Ludwig, they're like, we have to walk all the way down. I mean, really, he fell off after doing the button. Like, are we really walking all the way here? So I go, it's 2 families, very sweet families, super nice people. We play a game of Uno, but one thing I found funny was one of the kids who was part of Make-A-Wish wasn't like hanging out, and I didn't get the
That'll do
sense
some
that they like
damage.
watched me. But her dad was instantly like, my brother loves you, and it was only after that I was like, okay, I think that this is just the father who kind of likes me wanting to meet. Final thing that I have to do is the 2-hour meet and greet, and by this point I am cooked. I've basically spent 5 hours, 6 hours losing my voice, running around, doing things back to back to back, meeting with VCs. And I have a 2-hour meet and greet going strong. The thing about it is like when people meet me, that is the only time they will probably meet me, like ever. You know, unless I do another meet and greet that they happen to go to. And there's a lot of expectation in my mind on how they want me to be. And I like meeting people, so I don't mind it. But like I am cooked. I have had 1 Krispy Kreme donut, 2 teas, and a banana to this point because I did not get to eat my lunch. So I'm just chugging through a brutal line that I am flattered at. Just try my best. So to anyone who I met, hopefully it was worthwhile and, you know, a fun experience. And if it wasn't, I apologize. I tried my best. And then I went back to the hotel. And the only thing I wanted to do after that was take a nice long bath and then go to Disney, right? Get my 3 hours at California Adventures uninterrupted with no lines, with only creators. On my way back, I'm talking to someone from the VidCon staff. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for Disney tonight. And he says, excited for what? And I explain like, oh, it's the Disney thing. You know, the Disney, maybe they didn't invite staff. It's like maybe a creator thing. And he's like, oh, buddy, we got rid of that this year. Cool. So will I do VidCon again? We'll see. We'll see. I would be hard pressed. Stans did this thing. I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know if Check, can you tell me if I've done this before?
doing great
Stans,
out there.
at the suggestion of his wife for Autism Awareness Month, took an autism test because oftentimes autism can go unnoticed because it isn't tested, or you know the parents don't have awareness of autism, or they don't go to the doctor or whatever. And so he's like, you should try taking the autism test. I don't know if I've done this before. He asked me if I've done it, and I know I've done the ADHD test many times, but I don't know if I've done the autism test. XQC told you to do it. I feel like through Stan's mouth, I understood it in such like a nice way. It's like, hey man, like here's the value in taking the autism test, and here's like, you know, the value it could provide, like, you know, the platform you'd be taking, it could be like a funny thing to some degree, right? But ultimately add some value. I feel like if XQC told me to take it, it was probably hurtful. I just can't imagine in a nice way him being like, you should take an autism test, and it being like genuine. Like it must have been after I said something not so favored by it. Oh yeah, it was the marble. Actually, that's fine. I forgot about that. Wait, did I do it for the marble? Oh, I probably did it for the marble. Oh yeah. Yeah, you actually are so right. Okay, what is this? 5. I don't know. I scored a 5. The AQ10 says if you score a 6 or higher, it's indicative of autism or a significant number of autism traits. So I'm not close. I'm not close. I don't think there's a need to take the test. Take the RADS R. Yeah, that's the one Stans took, and he told me to take. This is 100 questions. Oh, 80 questions. Should I do this? This is 80 questions. All right, we'll do the 80 question autism test for Autism Awareness Month. If you guys want to test yourselves alongside, it is the RADS R test. I feel like the knowledge could be powerful for some, because some people never find out that they have autism, or maybe some characteristics of autism. They never go to a doctor, they never get diagnosed, and they might just find out later in their life. This happened to a League of Legends pro. I think it's Reckless maybe? Recently found out that I think they had some, I don't know if they got like diagnosed autistic or whatever, which is like cool. You can be armed with more info and knowledge about you and yourself. Good luck. Anyway, I've never done this one. This is an 80 question one. I'll give it a shot. I don't want to know. I mean, look, ultimately it doesn't matter, right? It does not need to then replace or insert itself into your identity. I think knowledge of you can help them, you know? It's to me no different than if you found out you had like ADHD. It does not necessarily mean you need to change anything about your behaviors, but being armed with more knowledge usually doesn't hurt you. I'm a sympathetic person. True now and when I was young. True only now. No, I don't think I was as sympathetic when I was younger. I find that to be a trait that I've gotten more attached to as I get older. I don't know if anyone disagrees on that. I feel like as a teenager, I was more apathetic. I often use words and phrases from movies, television, and conversations. If you replace movies and television with Northern Lion playing Balatro, talking about the suck machine that sucks you clean, true. I'm often surprised when others tell me I have been rude. I would say true now. No, maybe I think it was only true when I was younger. I think it's true when I was younger that I might have been taken aback, but now I think I'm quite aware. And if someone says I was rude, I'd be like, I would cop up. I wouldn't be like, what? When I said you were a rotten bitch, that was rude? Sometimes I talk too loudly or softly, and I'm not aware of it. Sometimes I talk a little too loud. I often don't know how to act in social situations. Never true. Never true, not once. I can put myself in other people's shoes. I hate the solidity of this question. It's either yes or no. I find that to be an active skill that you need to work at, as opposed to a binary. You can just straight up do it every time. But I would say true only now, if I had to pick one. I have a hard time figuring out what some phrases mean, like you are the apple of my eye. You're the apple of my eye. No, I know what that means. But I think it might have been more true when I was younger, but that's just because my mom was fucking foreign. She was that foreign. So like I didn't even know how to say certain words, and she didn't use any phrases, so it didn't come up in the household. I have no idea what that means. You are the apple of my eye. It just means like I only have eyes for you. I love you. You're my sweet little thing. You're my sweet little boo thing. I don't know the etymology of it, but I don't think that's what they're asking. I think they're asking what it means to say that to someone. I would say true now. I only like to talk to people who share my specialties. No, in fact, I prefer talking to people not, like, if I had the choice of talking to a streamer or a YouTuber or not a streamer or YouTuber, I think I'd rather talk to a non-streamer YouTuber. I think it'd be interesting, more interesting. I focus on details rather than the overall idea. I'm a big picture guy, I hate the details. I always notice how food feels in my mouth. That is more important to me than how it tastes, how food feels in my mouth. I do like food mouthfeels. I feel like the answer here is, I think I liked it. I think it was more important when I was younger. When I was younger, I hated tomatoes. It's not because of how tomatoes tasted, it is because of the explosion of juice. And then I also hated how dry chicken was. This is kind of a shot at my mother. Wonderful cook. You can't find someone that makes ratatouille better. But damn, when she cooked up with chicken, whew, bone drop type beef. I miss my best friends or family when we are apart for a long time. True now. Sometimes I offend others by saying what I am thinking, even if I don't mean to. Sometimes I offend others. I don't know if do I offend you guys? Am I offensive? I wish I had like a problem, but I guess that's just a wishy-washy true or false. Sometimes I offend others. I might occasionally offend. I only like to think and talk about a few things that interest me. I'd rather go out to eat in a restaurant by myself than with someone I know. God, it depends. For the most part, I would like to go with someone, but I do like the occasional solo restaurant date. They're kind of fun, but I think I wouldn't rather. I cannot imagine what it would be like to be someone else. I think that's true. I don't think I could fully imagine. I think saying yes, pretty hard pressed to find someone who could. I feel like it'd be tough. I couldn't imagine the strains of being a woman. I've been told that I'm clumsy or uncoordinated. True. Others consider me odd or different. I don't think so. I'm straight up. I'm built different. I feel like I can't be odd or different. I don't play Falco. What is what is this emote? Jesus Christ. That is graphic. Jesus, man. Holy shit. It's just fucking Falco barebacking Falcon. Odd or different? I don't know if I'm considered odd or different. I don't think I am. You know what? I was odd or different when I was a kid. I understand when friends need to be comforted. I think so. I'm very sensitive to the way the clothes feel when I touch them. How they feel is important to me more than how they look. Ooh, basically only if it's itchy. I got this pea coat, it's itchy as fuck. That shit bothers me. I like to copy the way certain people speak or act. It helps me appear more normal. Okay, well, I don't think I do it to appear more normal, but I do think I do it inadvertently. Like, I've done it occasionally with people's laughs. People have said this about me. It can be very intimidating for me to talk to more than one person at the same time. I hate that, yeah. I have to act normal to please other people and make them like me. No. Meeting new people is usually easy for me. True. I get highly confused when someone interrupts me when I'm talking about something I'm very interested in. I get highly confused. I don't get confused. I understand why people do that. I get sad. It is difficult for me to understand how other people are feeling when we are talking. I don't think so. I like to have a conversation with several people. For instance, around a dinner table. Oh, yeah. I'm a middle seat guy. It's a bit bold, but, you know, if we're sitting at a, let's assume it's a 10-seat table. We got 2 heads of the tables, 4 on each side. I would cop a middle spot. Nuzzle me in there. You know, I don't want an end. You're talking to 2 people max. I get like a 5-person radius there. You messed up the apple of my eye question. Did I? True only now? No, I didn't. True only now. I didn't understand what phrases meant when I was young because I had a French mother. I take things too literally, so I often miss what people are trying to say. I occasionally do that. I think more when I was younger. It is very difficult for me to understand.
Really
you did it
pulled their
wrong. Are you
weight.
guys fucking with me? When I was younger, I couldn't understand. Oh. It is very difficult for me to understand when someone is embarrassed or jealous. Embarrassed or jealous? Possibly? No. Some ordinary textures that do not bother others feel very offensive when they touch my skin. No. I get extremely upset by the way I like to do. I get extremely upset when the way I like to do things is suddenly changed. I'd say yeah. I think it's annoying. Extremely is just the operative word here that I don't like, though. I've never wanted or needed what people have. I've never wanted or needed to have what other people call an intimate relationship. I think when I was young, that's true. It is very difficult for me to start and stop a conversation. I need to keep going until I am finished. What does that mean when I'm finished? Very difficult for me to start and stop a conversation. I need to go until I'm finished. Like if it got cut off? What does that mean? No, it's all right. I speak with a normal rhythm. What's normal? I think my rhythm's good. I think I have a sauced up rhythm. No? Or you're gonna chastise my rhythm. What's your rhythm?
Nice
It's practiced,
work out
aka
there.
not
Keep
normal.
up the
Oh, so my
pressure.
rhythm's too sauced up. It's a bell curve. I don't think the faith of this question is, are you too good at speaking that it's not normal? And it's gone to the other side of too eloquent. I think it's more so asking, hey, you ever have a hard time speaking somewhat fluidly? It's not like, damn, are you so fucking rizzed up when you're speaking? It literally is that. No, it's not. Is it? No, it's not. Got that autism. What are we doing here, folks? Autistic people overemphasize this. Okay, all right, fine. Never true. Fine. Never true. Fine. The same sound, color, or texture can suddenly change from very sensitive to very dull. I don't know what that means. The phrase, I've got you under my skin, makes me uncomfortable. Sometimes the sound of a word or a high-pitched noise can be painful to my ears. Oh, like moist or little cummies or piggies? No. I am an understanding type person. I'm an understanding
doing
type person.
great out
I don't think
there.
I'm the most understanding type person, but I think more so now. I do not connect with characters in movies. I cannot tell when someone is flirting with me. That is kind of. I can see in my mind in exact detail things I am interested in. Not true even a little bit. I can't see good shit in my head. I keep lists of things that interest me even when they have no practical use. For example, sports statistics, train schedules, calendar dates, historical facts, and dates. Okay, this is just like, if you answer yes, you auto fucking win. When I feel overwhelmed by my senses, I have to isolate them, myself, to shut them down. Yeah, I think it's fair. I used to, when I was young, pray or with. You know that power-up in Ocarina of Time, Din's Fire, where Link goes, hey, yeah! Brah! And then a big blast goes around him. When I got overwhelmed, I would pray that I could use that move, but it never worked. I like to talk things over with my friends. True. More true now. I cannot tell if someone's interested or bored with what I'm saying. No, not true. No clue. I'll yap on. It can be very hard to read someone's face, hand, and body movements when they are talking. I don't think that's true. The same thing, like closer temperatures, can feel very different to me at different times. I mean, like, yeah, sure, but like usually based off sickness. I don't think that's what they're asking for. Like if I have a fever. I feel very comfortable dating or being in social situations with others. True. Now, I try to be as helpful as I can when other people tell me their personal problems. I think so. I've been told that I have an unusual voice. For example, flat, monotone, childish, or high pitch.
Let's see if you can
Sometimes a
stay
thought
on
or
top.
subject gets stuck in my mind and I gotta talk about it even if no one's interested. That's true. No one says my voice is weird. Don't start like adding things to me. Nobody says you got a weird fucking voice. But sometimes I get interested in something and I just tie it into things even if it doesn't make sense. I've been talking about Greek mythology because I read Circe. It doesn't even make sense all the time. We were at a taco shop. It was outdoors. It was nighttime. They had one of those like giant gasoline fire lamps. My first thought is you're going to want to know about the motherfucker who got us this. I do certain things with my hands over and over again, like flapping. Oh
Your
my God,
minions
this is so
really pulled
embarrassing.
their weight.
I'm playing with my string underneath the table. I've never been interested in what most people I know consider interesting. No. I'm considered a compassionate type of person. Am I considered one? I don't know if I've considered one outright. That's a high praise. I don't know if I can give myself that. I get along with other people by following a set of specific rules that help me look normal. No. It is very difficult for me to work and function in groups. No. When I am talking to someone, it can be hard to change the subject. If the person does so, I can get very upset or confused. No. Sometimes I have to cover my ears to block out painful noises. No. Maybe when I was a kid. I can chat and make small talk with people. Yeah, easy. Sometimes things that should feel painful are not. For instance, when I hurt myself or burn my hand on a stove. Ooh, yeah. I think I can tank it more now. When talking to someone, I have a hard time telling when it is my turn to talk or listen. Nah, I don't think so. I'm considered a loner by those who know me best. I don't think so. I usually speak in a normal tone. Probably not. I like things to be exactly the same day after day. Even small changes in my routine upset me. No. How to make friends and socialize is a mystery to me. False. It calms me to spin around or to rock in a chair when I'm feeling stressed.
You're
No, I
way
don't like
ahead.
the phrase, he wears his heart on his sleeve, does not make sense to me. The phrase doesn't make sense to me. It makes sense to me. If I'm in a place where there are many smells, textures to feel, noises, or bright lights, I feel anxious or frightened. I'm trying to think of a place that's like this. Like the dentist's office. Oh my God, is that why it's called an autism chair? Because it spins? This is Costco, yeah. No, I don't think it's true. I can tell when someone says one thing but means something else. I think so. I'd like to be by myself as much as I can. Not as much as I can, though. I keep my thoughts stacked in my memory like they are on filing cards, and I pick out the ones I need by looking through the stack, and oh my God, no, never. My brain's not that
really
big. The
pulled
same
their
sound
weight.
sometimes seems very loud or very soft, even though I know it hasn't changed. I enjoy spending time eating and talking with my friends and family. I can't tolerate things I dislike. I don't like to be hugged. No, I'm a hugger. I like hugs. Did my computer just crash? What? Where'd you go? Okay, I gave it the old unplug it, plug it back in. It got so much worse. Okay, the monitor's fucked. At least I unplugged it and plugged it back in, and it doesn't work still. And I am out of ideas. I'm sorry, it's literally all I have. All right, we're almost done. I'll keep it rolling. Fix it after stream. When I go somewhere, I have to follow a familiar route, or I can get confused and upset. I don't get upset, but I do get lost if I don't. It is very difficult for me to figure out what other people expect of me. No. I like to have close friends. True. I like, people tell me that I give too much detail. Maybe now. I'm often told that I ask embarrassing questions. True. I asked Linus tech tips about his vasectomy. I tend to point out other people's mistakes. True. But I also think it's just, usually in an effort of honest feedback. All right, score 71. What does that mean? Meaning of RAD's R scores. You are not
Let's see if you
autistic.
can
Some
stay on
autistic
top.
traits, but likely not autistic. The minimum score at which autism is considered. Okay. I thought I had the freaking It's fine. Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Anyway, folks, it is Autism Awareness Month, and as an ambassador for it now, just expect a little more from you guys from me. It's only right, it'd be correct to do. I'm actually, the reason I'm shocked is because I was going through it and I was like, oh, dude, I am doing the exact opposite of what would be considered autism. I like social situations. Yeah, I talk a little weird, but after that, dude, come on. And then I think 6 higher than the stands. The actual mean is 133. Really? Of like everybody who tests it? I got 147. Brother, you got strong evidence. The maximum score acquired in Ritvo's seminal paper. Dude, imagine acing the autism test, just banking every question natty. You're the chosen one at that point. 240, it's never happened before. Chat, we actually have an insane story today. I had a core memory. Is that it? A core memory? I had a skibbity this past weekend. A canon event occurred. That's it. Because I went to my first ever movie premiere. And I already hear it. I already hear it. Out of touch Ludwig, rich little Ludwig, off to his movie premieres. Gonna regale us with the tales of the celebrities he mingled with. But this movie premiere went horribly wrong. Because, again, I need to say this one more time. I went to my first movie premiere. So I don't really know how movie premieres work. And I wasn't invited to this movie premiere in a normal fashion. Now, if you guys watch The Yard, you might know that we had Hank Green on The Yard. Hank Green, very funny guy. Hank Green has a brother, John Green. You might have heard of him because he did some things on a website called Tumblr years ago, or, more importantly, he wrote a couple of damn books.
You're doing
very
great
famous
out
books.
there.
Fault in Our Stars, which became a movie, and also Turtles All the Way Down, which just had a premiere in LA this past weekend. So I went to the premiere for John Green's movie, Turtles All the Way Down. And I was invited, I'm very flattered by this. I was invited by John directly. Hank sent me like a Twitter DM. He was like, hey, John wants to invite some people, and he thought you'd be good to come to this premiere. Can I give him your email? And I gave him my email, and then John sent me an email, and it was very casual. In fact, I'm gonna read out something. I don't feel bad leaking this because it was so breezy and casual. John sends me a message. Hank first, he CCs me. He goes, hey John, this is Ludwig. He has a thing the same day as the premiere. He just wants to know what time the movie premiere is at. Because bear in mind, this movie premiere was the same day that I did the Bro vs. Bro against Linus Tech Tips. So I was like, I'm not sure if I can make it. I would love to, I'm not sure. John replies, he goes, Ludwig, great to meet you. The premiere's at 4 for the red carpet stuff and 5 for the actual movie. There's a reception after, so we'll all hang out there. You can
really
come, no
raging
worries
out
if you
there.
can't come, but it'd be great to have you, and it always is fun to attend a movie premiere. Plus, the movie's pretty good, John. And I replied to that message 9 days later, the day before the premiere, in all capitals, hello, John, and thank you, Hank. Can I have a +1, please? I don't check my email. You got him, officer, right here. The
not
guy
the
who doesn't
strongest,
read his email
but
because
it'll
he's not
fight
fucking
hard.
37 years old. Sorry to John and Hank. I do all my communications on Discord, Twitter if I have to. Anyway, John replies. He says, of course you can have a +1. And the reason I needed a +1, you might think, is because I was going to invite my girlfriend, Cutie. But in fact, she was busy that day. So I instead decided to invite Squeaks. Because Squeaks was coming in town for unpaid intern, and he actually landed the same time the movie premiere started. So I was like, well, that's perfect. Rather than you just like showing up to my house and I'm at a movie premiere, instead of hosting you, kind of like an asshole. What if instead you know, take your little tookus down to the premiere and we meet there together? So that's the game plan. Anyway, fast forward to day of the movie premiere. Again, 4 o'clock red carpet, 5 o'clock it starts. If you watched the Bro vs. Bro against Linus Tech Tips, you will remember it ended at 4:15. And if you have ever been to Los Angeles, you know that getting into your car at 4:15 p.m., weekday or
Keep
weekend,
up the momentum, friend.
it's not a good thing to do. It is tough. And boy, does the traffic hit. And all I'm doing is I'm driving, and I'm just looking at my phone. It's on the dash. And I'm seeing it go from 4:59 arrival time to 5:05, 5:10, 5:15. 5:20. And finally, I arrived to the venue. 5:22. That is late. I've never been to a premiere, so I'm like, whatever. I will do my best with what I got. Now, I meet Squeaks there, and this is important, just for reference. Again, have never been to a movie premiere, and the way John Green was messaging me very breezily, I figured you could just kind of roll up to this thing, have a good time. Now, I know you're not supposed to be late, so I initially felt bad. What I didn't realize is that movie premieres is an occasion to dress up. It is not something you roll up to. Let's say I'm just throwing out something random in a Red Bull shirt and a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom t-shirt, which is exactly what me and Squeaks did. I am literally wearing a Red Bull sponsored t-shirt as a Red Bull athlete, and Squeaks is wearing a Korok. What do you call those fuckers? And you can't see it. You can't see it. I'm also wearing Crocs. You know it's bad because John Green replied to my Instagram post. By the way, follow me on Instagram, and said, "Loved having you there, and you looked great, period." I'm starting to think that might have been ironic. So instantly, we find out we are underdressed. But we're like, whatever. We just need to make our way to the theater and start watching the damned movie, because that's what a premiere is all about. Ultimately, it doesn't matter what you look like, because we're all here to just watch a movie. It's fine.
You're moving up
and so we go in. There's like a little reception area. We grab some popcorn, some drinks, and then we walk into the entrance. And at the entrance, there's an usher. And the usher looks at us, recognizes us somehow, and she goes, "Oh, your seats are in the very front." And I literally turn to this usher and I go, and she goes, "No, they're the only seats left." Now, this is not a normal theater. I'm going to show you a picture of the theater while it was empty. So this is the theater. It's very cute. It's very cozy. It's not a huge theater by any means, because again, it's a premiere. It's for friends, family of the actors, actresses, directors, screenwriters who are involved in this product. Very intimate atmosphere. And our seats were these two. Smack dab in the middle at the very front row.
I think you can
and
win
because
this
this
thing.
is a smaller than normal theater, as we are walking to our seats, again, 15 minutes after this movie had already started, you can see the silhouette of my big ass fucking hair and Squeaks' big ass head bouncing on through. And I go to sit down in my seat, and I'm like, fine. At least we're here now. We don't have to get up again. We can watch the rest of the movie. Or so I thought. Because as I sit down and I go to put my phone on silent and darken the screen and put it on Do Not Disturb, I see a Discord message. This is literally as I'm putting it away. And I naturally have the phone towards me. My phone auto-unlocks because Face ID, and the message pops up. And I read a message from Linus Tech Tips that says, "Hey, I'm sorry. I believe my wife forgot her purse at your studio. Could you please unlock the door?" And I'm like, nightmare. Because I know it's after 5. It's a weekend. Nobody's there. I don't know how to get him in. And I'm not going to text
Your
while at this
minions
theater.
really
I
pulled
would
their
dream
weight.
of being that guy. And I don't want to get up right away either. Right? You might think, "Oh, Ludwig, just get up and handle it." But like, I just did this whole fucking rigmarole where my big ass head bounced through the screen. I want to get up again. So I went. I will say, I do rattle off just one message to Linus, which is simply the code that he needs to get in. That's it. Right before I go, boop, 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 it's like 4 numbers, and then I throw the phone away. And then I proceed to watch the movie. In the movie, if I can say this is not the point of the story. I'm not sponsored by John Green. I know I was invited, so there's some maybe bias in there, but I have to say, it was fucking funny, dude. I'm watching it. I'm enthralled. I've never read Turtles All the Way Down. I will come clean. I read a couple of John Green books in high school because a girl that I liked John Green. So I'd read Paper Towns. I had read Fault in Our Stars. Okay, sue me. Sue me. You read a book that the girl that you likes, and you hope that's a good way to start a conversation. It's not a bad idea. I call it W-Riz. But I'm watching the movie, and if you've ever listened to The Yard, you might have heard one of the guys in the podcast talk about what it is like watching a movie with me. I have a weird laugh. Okay? I'm just going to say, I have a weird laugh. I don't laugh like everybody else. When I'm watching a movie, the way that I laugh, as I'll be watching it, right? Got my drink. And that's how I watch. I'll just let out a loud one, all caps, H-A. And I'm not like exaggerating this. I'm not doing it for show. I do it in private. I do it in public. I do it in theaters. I do it on my couch at my house. That is how I laugh. If I find something funny, I will laugh like that. There's another layer that I have to say. I laugh like that at funny parts, but also at parts that aren't funny on paper, but I find funny. And maybe that's like something that's a little awkward, a line that caught me off guard. So I laugh at times that are occasionally inopportune. Well, at this movie, it's about this girl who has health anxiety. And occasionally she feels like her health anxiety controls her own actions. She has this very intense heart-to-heart with a professor of philosophy at a college she wants to go to. It's spoilers, but it's not really spoilers. But basically she asks the professor, she says, "Professor, I don't think I'm real." And I go, ha! Because I didn't expect the line. The line before that was the professor saying, "Hey, I gotta go to class." And so I thought it was like, hey, end the conversation. Instead, she would set out of nowhere, and I'm like, son of a bitch, that caught me off guard. Yes! Theater slide. I was a little embarrassed by this. So I took this opportunity to take a quick bathroom break, to which I received about 30 texts from Linus, and I was like, oh no. And it basically went like, what do these numbers mean? What am I supposed to do? Can I get in? Hello? Hello? Ludwig? And then I'm like, oh no. And then they keep coming, and it's like, okay, just kidding. Got the purse. Had to wrestle it off a guy. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? But they got the purse. I don't know who they had to wrestle. I was like, okay, I go back in the movie. We finish the movie out. Again, can't say anything but positive things for this movie. Anyway, the movie ends, and we are ushered into the reception area. Because again, there's supposed to be a reception after. I remember John Green told us about this. And lucky for us, people we recognize are showing up. In fact, I saw Jarvis, Zach from the Try Guys, Matt Pat shows up. You know, a lot of YouTubers that I recognize. So I'm like, oh my God, hello guys, what's up? I didn't know you were here. And they all look fucking like amazing. And then we look like a couple of bums. So I'm making conversation about that. I'm like, dude, you guys look fucking great. Look at us. We look like a couple pieces of shit. And then in that group, what I start doing is I start pointing out people who I think are the actors and actresses in the movie in real life. And I'm like, dude, that's the girl Daisy. And then everyone in the group would go look at them, but like, you don't want to be too obvious. So they'd be like sly. They'd be like, imagine you're the person who I thought is Daisy. They'd be like, no, Ludwig, that's actually just another fucking handsome guy. Ludwig, that's not fucking Daisy. That's just another woman with a dress on. So I go like 0 for 3. And then eventually, I'm like, dude, that's the girl from Spider-Man 2. Kirsten Dunst. And they do the same thing and they go,
You got mail.
dude, that's fucking Kirsten Dunst. And Kirsten Dunst is at this movie premiere. The first thing that Squeak says when he realizes Kirsten Dunst is there is he goes, oh shit, my mom loves Kirsten Dunst. Let's get a pic with her.
Choice.
And so we have this side mission that forms to eventually get a picture with Kirsten Dunst. Now, I don't know if he made that up or if he just wanted to get a fucking picture with her, but a side mission forms. Before we can pursue said side mission, John Green enters. And again, he's like a fucking rock star. Wrote the book that became the movie. And so instantly everyone's crowding around him. And I'm like not trying to fucking edge my way to the front, but he happens to see a big group of YouTubers and he comes up and he greets us all. And I never met John before. So I go, John, it's great to meet you. I used to watch fucking Vlog Brothers back in the day. And the movie was amazing. He's like, dude, hell yeah. And I have to say, and he's fully allowed to. But John was getting his drink on. I mean, he just had a movie come out. He's getting his drink on. Let's go, John. And so John comes over, he's like, Ludwig, you look fucking great, man. Don't even worry about wearing those Crocs. I'm like, no, I didn't bring anything up about that. He's like, don't even worry about that weird Zelda shirt. What's your name again? Squeaks? Weird name. Don't even worry about that. I'm like, thanks, John. He's like, by the way, have you met Isabella? I'm like, what? No, who's that? He's like, well, that's the main actress in the movie. She's right there. And I'm like, what? Wait, she's actually here? Because again, I've been calling random people the main actors and actresses in the movie for the past like 15 minutes. And he's like, yeah, come on over. So me and Squeaks kind of like begrudgingly are following John. And he goes, Isabella, this is Ludwig and Squeaks. Ludwig and Squeaks, Isabella. And then instantly leaves. He basically does an introduction and then he's, which is fine. I get it. He's like, the guy in the building. Everyone wants to talk to him. But then I'm just sitting there.
How's it going?
And I'm like, so, good movie. She's like, yep. I'm trying to think of something to say. And the only thing I can think of is I'm like, is it hard being an actress when the movie's over? You know, like the press tour stuff? And she thinks for a moment, she goes, no, I mean, I think it's harder doing the acting. But I will say, and she goes into a little story. She goes, this is my second time actually watching the movie. Because we did a much larger premiere for an audience of about 1,600. And this was a more intimate premiere with like friends and family. And I was quite nervous during the first movie premiere because I didn't know how people would receive the movie.
Better hire
But
a
this
recruit
premiere
while you can.
was going a lot better. I was like, well, that's good. And she's like, yeah. Because there was this
Go
guy.
big or go
And I was like,
home, I
this guy?
always say.
She's like, yeah, when I was watching the movie, there was this
I
guy
hope you're up for it.
who every 10 minutes or so would just laugh like this. Ha! I swear at the most random times he would just go, ha! And it would make me laugh because I was like, who's this guy?
I have my
And the blood drains from my face and I was looking at her. I'm like, Isabella,
Love to hear percussion.
that's me. She's like, what? I'm like, Isabella. In almost like a Cinderella trying to prove my foot fits the glass slipper, I go, ha! And she recognizes it instantly. And I can see her face turn red. And my face turns red because I'm embarrassed. Because I've been embarrassed about, by the way, this way that I laugh for years. My friends do not let me forget about how weird and loud it is. And so it's something that I know that I do, but I don't do it consciously. I do it subconsciously. I'm a little embarrassed by the fact that I do it. And now my worst nightmare has come true. Where I have not only been called out for doing this weird fucking laugh, I've been called out by the main actress in the movie. This sounds fake, guys. I promise you this fucking happened. And I'm sitting there and I'm literally like stammering. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I just laugh like that sometimes. It's fucking weird. I don't know why I laugh like that. She's like, no, it's okay that you laugh like that. Actually, it made the movie a little easier for me to watch because, like, you know, you do that weird times, like that scene with the professor. I'm like, not the scene with the professor. It's not because you deliver the line bad. It's just because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the line. She's like, you didn't expect the line. That's fine. She turns around, red from embarrassment, laughs a little bit, and she goes, I'm gonna get a drink. She left the venue. I didn't see her the rest of the night. I am not lying, man. I didn't see her the rest of the night. I think she might have moved her flight up to leave the fucking city earlier. I was like, oh. And I'm sitting there, and literally all I'm thinking about is like, man, I have to tell Squeaks what just happened. But before I can, the moment Squeaks comes up, because he was like in a little side conversation, up comes two guys who are looking at me the whole time. They're giving me these. And I've been doing this game long enough. I know if it's two guys who look like they're in college,
Your minions really
they've probably seen my ass before on this channel. I'm not saying that cockily, but if they're giving me side eye and they're in my demo, there's a chance they might have seen something. They might be a Ludbud. And lo and behold, they come up and they go, are you Ludwig? And I'm like, yep. And they go, dude, dude, what's up, man? What's up? And it turns out that those two guys were the brother and the neighbor of Isabella, the girl who had just brought up my life. They had somehow filled the void that she had just left, not knowing the conversation that we just had randomly coming up because you're Ludwig. We're talking, we're vibing out. And the conversation winds down. You know, it was a pretty easy conversation. We talked for maybe 10 minutes. Me, Squeaks, talking about Twitch, them talking about Twitch, whatever. But it dies down as conversations do. And so I do the natural exit. I heard this move earlier. I go, hey, you know what? I'm going to get a drink, but it's been great to get to know you guys, you know, and I hope the streaming thing works out.
I didn't like that one either.
And he goes, dude,
Here's a
appreciate
gold
it.
for the trouble.
Before you go, I just want to say, man, I've been watching you since 2017. And I'm like, I had about 5 average viewers. I played Getting Over It to Dr. Battle. It's not a lot of people. Look, this is literally it. 2017, I streamed about 12 times. I had 12 average viewers. My follow count was 116. I'm like, you're part of those 100? I mean, maybe he got the year wrong. Maybe he got very easy to get the year wrong. So I go, thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's crazy. He goes, yeah. Dude, your PO unboxing for Christmas? Crazy. The things people would send you, that's so funny. And I'm like, well, I mean, I've done a couple of unboxings. Maybe, you know, I have Jackie Chan. I've done one for Christmas before. It wasn't 2017,
Go ahead
though.
and hire one of
He's
these
like, yeah, man, dude.
recruits.
When you got that God of War statue, oh, fuck. You still got that? And then time slowed down a bit, and I'm like, God of War statue.
Keep up
And I'm
the
having,
momentum,
like,
friend.
That's So Raven flashbacks to Soda Poppin', who, for the Christmas unboxing, got a Kratos God of War statue. A stream that I vividly remember watching. And I'm like, this motherfucker just thinks I'm Soda Poppin'. Like, he knows my name is Ludwig, but he thinks that I'm Soda Poppin', the Twitch streamer. And I am not in the position where I'm going to be like, whoa, hold on there, buddy. Sorry, I'm the Jump King guy. So instead I go, still got it. And he goes, that's sick. And I go, hell. And then I fucking walk my ass out of there. And I'm like, I'm melting at this point. Because these conversations with I cannot believe the interactions that I am having here. And we go to the bar, and I'm getting a stiff one. And we're sitting, and me and Squeak are talking to him. And I'm telling him everything that happened. And he goes, well, hey, this night's been fucking crazy. You've had a lot of weird conversations. Why not one more? He's like, I want a picture with Kirsten Dunst. Well, I'm like, why don't you fucking go up and ask her? And then he up and says it. He goes, well, I'm too much of a fucking pussy, so you do it. You do it. You get the picture. You do the conversation. And I'm like, fine. Because what else can I lose, man? What else can I lose? I was mistaken for Soda Poppin'. I'm the guy with the weird fucking laugh. I showed up late. I look like a piece of shit. Why not, man? Why not? So in a W friend move, I walk right up to Kirsten Dunst. She's in a big group of 4 people. And I stand outside the group for about 1 minute, and they don't make eye contact with me, and I leave. And I'm like, this is going to be hard. 2 times I stand outside of her circle. Nothing. And then I go back to Squeaks. He's like, I need a game plan. I can't go in raw dog. It is not working. I need something to say. Because, like, the only movie I have seen with Kirsten Dunst is the Spider-Man movies. And I'm thinking of, like, the interactions I've had. I get, you know, not annoyed, but it's not the best interaction I've ever had if someone comes up to me and they go, hey, man, I watched the subathon. Can I get a picture? Because then it's like, well, bro, you barely know me. You just want a picture to have a picture like I'm a Pokemon card. And I don't want to go up to her, same thing, and be like, I watched Spider-Man 20 years ago. Can I get a picture now? Because that feels a little fucking disingenuous. Feels like a little transactional. So I do something. I'm not proud of this. I'm not proud of this. I do not do this. I should not have done this. But ultimately, I am doing this for Squeaks. So I'm sitting there. I'm like, Squeaks, we need a movie. He's like, what? I'm like, we need a movie. I need a story that I can tell her that makes this interaction a little more bearable for her. Because I can't say fucking Spider-Man. And I don't want to just go up and say, hey, give me a picture now. And he's like, okay, yeah, makes sense. So we go to her Wikipedia and we're scrolling through. And we end up on her collaboration with Sofia Coppola. And he's like, oh, yeah, great. Well, I think this one's like one of the first ones. Let's do Virgin Suicides. I think I remember that movie. That's what he says. It's like, yeah, I think my mom watched it. Well, let's do Virgin Suicides. I'm like, okay, sure. And so that's the movie we end up on. I've never seen the movie, but I'm like, this will work. And eventually I go into her circle again. I wait a little longer than I did in the previous 2 times. And eventually she turns and she goes, hello? And I go, hi, Kirsten. I'm sorry. I'm Ludwig. This is my friend Squeaks. And she does a double take the moment I say Squeaks. She goes, and I go, anyway, we're just big fans. We think you're an amazing actress. We watch the Virgin Suicides every year together. And she goes, stop. Every year? And at this point, I don't really know why she reacted like that, but I'm like, yeah, every year. And Squeaks is like behind me. He's like, yeah, we watch it every year. It's a great movie. Anyway, would you mind if we got a picture? And her face is still like fucking like we're the weirdest motherfuckers in the world. She's like, sure, yeah, we can do a picture. And we snap one, and then I'm trying to run out of there. I hate being in this situation. I didn't like having to lie to her. I feel kind of like an asshole. I don't want to have to do this in the first place. And then she goes, sorry, I feel like that was a bad picture. Can we take it again? And let me tell you, her ass is right. The picture was bad, so I take it again. Second one, not much better. I don't think she cared enough to ask for a third, but this is the picture we ended up with. It's me, Squeaks, and Kirsten Dunst. All right? Not bad. Not bad. Hey, she looks better than us. That's goddamn Kirsten Dunst.
Ready
Looking
to get
great.
started?
And then me and Squeaks walk away. And we realize, like, hey, that was kind of a weird reaction that she had. Like, I wonder why she reacted that way. So we decided to look up the premise for the Virgin Suicide. And I'm going to read you the synopsis of the movie right now. Bear in mind, this will contain spoilers, but I think it's important. In an ordinary suburban house on a lovely tree-lined street in the middle of the 1970s America lived the 5 beautiful, dreamy Lisbon sisters, whose doomed fates inevitably marked the neighborhood boys who to this day continue to obsess over them. A story of love and repression, fantasy, terror, sex and death, memory and longing. It is at its core a mystery story of the 5 girls who all have different ways that they are going to kill themselves and the boys who attempt and fail to stop their suicides. So it's just about, as the title would have suggested, a bunch of virgins who kill themselves in very descriptive and visually disturbing ways. And me and Squeaks, 2 30-year-old looking men, are watching this movie where a bunch of high schoolers kill themselves in really fucking gross ways, like slitting their damn wrists every year. Every year we watch these girls kill themselves and we go, yay! I wish there was more virgins and more suicide. No fucking wonder she thought we were psychopaths. We're the only motherfuckers who have ever said that to her ever. God damn it, bro. And then we leave driving off in the LA fucking sky and the LA night, talking about all the insane social interactions that have happened throughout this movie premiere. And I can only leave with 3 valuable lessons. 1, if you ever go to a movie premiere, show up on time. 2, dress like it's a fucking movie premiere and not like you are going to work out at the YMCA. And 3, and I cannot stress this enough, don't talk to anyone. And I mean anyone who is famous, because it only goes to shit. Just give him an idol and then walk by. It's better for everybody, baby. It's better for everybody. I fucked up, man. I can't be talking to these celebs. Before I jump in, I have to do a quick thank you to Susan Wojcicki for not firing me yet. Because I was a bad YouTube streamer. You guys know I am a YouTube streamer officially. That's why I'm on youtube.com/LudovicOgren/live. So easy to say, rolls off the tongue. But I went to TwitchCon this weekend. I took the whole weekend off from streaming. I went on a bunch of other streamers, Twitch streamers, streams. I uploaded a video the day I left called Twitch is Better Than YouTube, and I wore purple socks to the event. All things considered, grounds for firing, 100%. 100%. So, you know, hearts in chat for Susan for not firing me. I appreciate that. You know I love YouTube. All right, you know I'm just fucking around. I'm just playing hard to get. Sometimes you miss your ex, you know? I was just seeing what she was up to. That's all. But it's always been me and you, Susan. I've always said that. You also went live on Twitch? I forgot about that. This happened the day I left to TwitchCon. Oh, no. Fuck! Connor! I'm gonna lose my fucking contract! Anyway, boys, after I ended stream on Friday, I drove down with Atrioc in his lame-ass car. and we pulled up to TwitchCon. Atrioc, I have to mention this, is the worst fucking driver I have ever met in my life. I don't know how he is that unironically bad at driving. He does this thing when he drives where he gasses really hard and then he brakes really hard. So me and Ari, his beautiful wife, are like this the entire time. But the most annoying thing about it is that we're actively telling him how much of a problem this is, and he was like, well, my foot's tired, so I'm driving with my left foot. That's why he was making a miserable experience for us
battle is
too.
really
Is because he was
raging
using
out
his
there.
left foot to drive because his right foot got tired. We pull up to TwitchCon. They're staying at a hotel. I'm staying at an Airbnb with Cutie and a few other streamers. So Atrioc is like, hey, will you take the car and drop us off and then you go back to your Airbnb? And I say, sure. Mostly just thankful to get the fuck out of having him be driving me. So I instantly take over the car and I try to find some parking. And I noticed that San Diego parking is a little bit difficult to find. So I eventually find this public parking lot and I go ahead and park there and I do a 3-hour parking because I figure Atrioc will grab it later. So I do 3-hour parking and it cost $30. I'm like, kind of pricey, but it is what it is. All right. Remember this for later in the story. $30, great, bang. But I am now at TwitchCon. The first thing I do at TwitchCon is I go to a dinner with a bunch of streamers that Cutie set up. Cutie, God bless her heart, is not only the online event master, she is also the offline event master. Without Cutie, all of us would be twiddling our thumbs trying to walk into like a Taco Bell, 20 streamers at a time. So she set up like a wonderful dinner, and I hung out with a bunch of streamers. We had a good time. And then after the dinner, because we got to San Diego kind of late, there was a party. The first party of the weekend, and arguably the biggest party of the weekend. And that was, of course, the FaZe party. Now, FaZe, if you don't know, FaZe up, are known for 3 things. All right? Insane trick shots. You're fucking gay. And then the third thing is they're known for partying it up. They're known for swagging out. They're known for spending a lot of bills, flexing, all right? Pulling up in a nice-ass car. You know, like they're like the cool kind of frat boys in the esports world. Pretty inarguable compared to like C9. The only other esports org that parties a bit too hard is G2. And they party so hard they lose $15 million. So I pull up to the FaZe party and we're a little bit nervous because we pull up slightly late and that shit is packed. All right, it's packed for a couple reasons. One, again, FaZe runs pretty good parties. And 2, there's a rumor going around that Travis Scott is going to perform at the FaZe party. And that rumor was very public. And I won't lie, it might have been not just a rumor because XQC might have leaked that on stream.
On God, the FaZe party is gonna be more lit.
Travis Scott's gonna be there.
No, you leaked it? Guy!
Wait, no shot if not leaked. Wait.
When he said it, I didn't say nothing. When he said it, I didn't say nothing.
XQC leaks a couple days before that Travis Scott's going to be at this party. So you can imagine, because of that leak and because of FaZe being the people who run really big parties, how big the fucking line was to get into this building. XQC, by the way, after I was talking to him about this, I was like, I can't believe you leaked it. And he was like trying to like make good of it. And he's like, it's okay, dude, because I gave it publicity. And I was like, bro, it's fucking Travis Scott. And he's like, oh, fuck, dude. He was like trying to talk his way out as if it was a good thing that he leaked it. But yes, there was Travis Scott at the party. The line went around the block. The line went around the block. The party started at 10. We pulled up a bit late. So we are all getting ready. This is our fit. XQC looking like the bus seats on a coach bus. Hassan looking like he hunts animals. Myth and I looking great. At least that's what I thought. Until I watched XQC's stream today.
I've got some fresh recruits for you.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
What the hell?
This is FaZe.
Oh my God, no way, yeah.
What?
There's nothing wrong with the sandals. There's nothing wrong with the fucking sandals. There's nothing wrong with them, okay? By the way, that's all I had all weekend. All I brought for the entire weekend were Crocs. So we go to the FaZe party. The FaZe party's crazy. Somehow, we managed to get in, passing the whole line. I don't know how this happened. I think the guy at the FaZe party, who was kind of the bouncer, knew who I was, and I got a bit lucky. Because there were like massive streamers who were in the line at the front who were not allowed to get in. Like, I'm talking OTV people. Like, there were big-ass streamers who just weren't getting in. But when I walked to the front, the bouncer, I think, knew me. I think he might have been a Ludbud. Shouts out. So he lets me in, and then he goes, point to everybody who you want to come in. And all of a sudden, I felt like I was in Finding Nemo, and I had a fish, and all the seagulls are around me, because everybody was like, Ludwig, Ludwig, go Bud, hey, go Lale. For the first hour of the party, boys, I sit at the front of the line, and I'm pointing. I'm like, you. No, you. And I'm just, and they're like, okay, let him through. And I'm like, this is insane power. At one point I leave, and then I start getting messages from people like, come back down and let me in. But it's great. It's crazy the amount of people who weren't able to get in. But the moment I'm in, I'm like, for some reason, I was that bitch in my Crocs. And I walk in, and initially it seems like a super chill spot, right? But then you go to the back room, and that shit was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that the party was insane. FaZe throws a good ass party. So it was like it was a huge club, and there was a stage at the front, and then there was a bunch of booths, right? So if you've never been to a club before, most clubs have like a general dance floor area, a stage where maybe someone performs or the DJ is, and then a bunch of tables. But unlike most clubs where I'm kind of uncomfortable and the people at the tables are like really rich people, really snooty people, every single table is like a different sect of Twitch. It was insane. I would walk through and it would be like a table, just Minecrafters. Next table, 100 Thieves people only. Next table, offline TV only. Kai had a table, FaZe Banks had a table, and XQC, credit to him, made some big boss moves because the whole time he was nervous he wouldn't even get into the party. Not only got in, but somehow got a table for just us. And I will say, of all the tables at this party, ours was kind of like the chill table. Our table was like the one where it was like, you go to relax. Like every other table was like fucking, you know, they got a Grey Goose bottle, they're pouring it in everyone's mouth. Our table was like, do. It's the table to chill at, all right? It's the table to relax, have good vibes, which, you know, a lot of people appreciated. I will say, because Cutie went out, I'll tell you what, she hates going out. So she loved our table. And the table next to our table that was getting lit the whole night was Kai's table. Kai Sadat, who's arguably one of the biggest streamers right now. If not, maybe the biggest streamer. Like he's huge. He's at a table with Bruce, with Your Rage. So I go with Cutie. I'm like, hey, I'm Ludwig. It's my girlfriend Cutie. Just try to introduce myself. And they're like, hey, they were super nice. And then they start laughing a bit. Because if you don't know, there was a pretty popular clip a few weeks ago.
Bro, they talking about some parties, bro. I ain't trying to go to no TwitchCon party, bro. Bro, imagine you walking that motherfucker and you just see like, no offense to them, like, you just see like a Ludwig ass nigga just standing. He got his beard and shit. Yeah.
Nah, but you ate.
So, when I go up to him with my drink in hand, just as a little meme, I start doing the dance that Kai made fun of me for. But then, I'm like, hey, I don't want to be a clown. Like, I want to show off that I can be a sick-ass dancer, too. Like, I'm kind of with it, in a way. And Kai watched it on stream and said it was really cool.
Oh. Yo, I told y'all there was gonna be a Ludwig ass nigga in the fucking spot.
Wait for it. Wait, it's all done yet.
Yo, what did I tell? Yo, Ludwig, first of all, is cool as fuck, bro.
He said I'm cool. Woo! All right, so nobody's got to make fun of my dancing skills. Approved by Kai. He clearly in that clip said that my dance moves were cool. I'm with it. So honestly, I appreciate that from Kai for saying that I'm cool. Finish your clip. Nah, I'm all right. And so that was dope. And then Travis Scott came out. He came out for a whole ass 5 minutes. Travis Scott came out for 5 minutes. He did about 3 songs and then he dipped. And the whole time I was like, how much did FaZe pay for the 5 minutes that he was up there? Dude, he was up there for 5 minutes and then he left. And I was like, damn, are you me in bed or one of the most highest selling artists of all time? Like, what is going on here? And then the only other thing that happened is the whole night Cutie was like, I need to get a picture with FaZe Banks phasing up. And she kept calling Banks FaZe the whole night. She's like, I gotta meet FaZe. I gotta meet FaZe. But she was too nervous to go up to him. And eventually, I asked Banks, I'm like, yo, can you do me a favor? Can you take a picture of my girlfriend and phase the fuck up? And he's like, as long as she doesn't clown me on Twitter. And it created, I would call, one of the greatest pictures I've seen on Twitter in a while. An absolute gem from the night. Anyway, that was the first night. All in all, a great night. Had a good time at the FaZe party. Go home, go to bed, wake up. That was Friday night, the first night of TwitchCon. The next night, the next day, I should say, was Saturday of TwitchCon. And that, I didn't want to do a meet and greet at TwitchCon. Like, I didn't have a planned meet and greet. But Cutie did her own meet and greet off of the TwitchCon site. It was a really cute event. I thought it was super well done. Where she made a fucking food truck. She got a whole ass food truck. She baked like 500 cookies. And then she parked it like a couple blocks down from the convention center. And just to support Cutie, I went with her. What I did the entire day is I sat in line with a cookie costume on. There's this person who made a video. Look at this nice couple. They made a video about it that has a couple pictures. I was like somebody outside of a business spitting those giant signs like cookies here. And that was really nice. That was dope. I thought Cutie had planned that pretty well. I also met a bunch of people at the convention itself. I kept running this bit. When I don't stream, I get a little off the perk, you know what I'm saying? So every time someone would come up and they'd be like, Ludwig, can you film a video for my friend, whoever? I would do this bit where I would steal their fucking phone and I would sprint away with it.
And I'm making headway.
Look, can you say hi to my chat?
So like this person's like, hey, can you say hi to my chat?
Hello, chat.
Ah! Oh shit! What?
It's mine now. It's mine now. I've stolen chat.
Oh my god, thank you.
And like there's this girl who asked me to record a video.
What do you want me to say?
My mother loves your TikTok.
I'm stealing this fucking phone. How about that, you dumbass?
And so I would just fucking sprint away with their phone. Every time they'd ask me to record a video. I did like 10 times. I thought that shit was funny as hell. And I do have to call out the greatest fan interaction I had all weekend. Because although big crowds would form around me, and although you guys see me a lot on the screen, I'm just a white guy. Like, I'm just a fucking dude. I am not incredibly special or unique. I'm just a dude. And so I realized if I were to walk around with a hat on and a mask on, almost nobody would really come up to me. It was that simple to disguise myself. I could walk through the convention and almost nobody would bother me. And I had my greatest encounter with a viewer because I saw this kid with the Mogul Moves hoodie on, the Mint Mogul Moves hoodie from the most recent drop, the re-release. And I go up to this kid and I tap him and I go, yo, hat on, mask on. Can I get a pic? And the kid's like, sure. And I'm like, can we take it on your phone? And then he realizes. He's like, yeah. Keep it down. Because the moment the disguise is revealed, everyone's gonna come around and try to get a pic. So I take a pic with him. And while I take a pic with him, there's like a couple guys right behind him. And they notice I'm Ludwig and they come over. And the cutest thing happened. Right after we take the pic, and I take the pic with the other guys, I see the kid with his, I think, sister, and they start jumping up and down in circles. Dude, it was the cutest shit I'd ever seen in my life. My heart was so warm. They were literally jumping up and down in circles like they had met Santa Claus. Here they are. They tweeted out at me. I thought they were super sweet. So shout out to these two. That was the greatest fan encounter. And that was me using my disguise for good. But what I also realized is that my disguise was so good, not only could I fool the attendees of TwitchCon, I could fool the streamers at TwitchCon.
Nice
so I was
work
walking
out
through
there.
the convention,
Keep
nobody
up
coming
the
up to me.
pressure.
And I noticed Tarek. He's about 5 feet in front of me. So I walk up to him and I tap him on the shoulder. I don't say a fucking word. My phone is already out with the camera app open. And I take a pic and then I wave and I walk away. And I can clearly see he's sketched out. He's like, but he says nothing. And I get this picture. I do the same just a few minutes later when I spot XQC. In fact, the only person who recognized me was Hassan, because I went up to take a picture of Hassan, and Hassan was getting harassed the whole weekend by like a few weirdos, right? So I go up to take this picture with Hassan. Again, I can't say a word because the moment I talk, they're going to recognize my voice. Hassan's bodyguard, when I go up to take this picture, and I'm being kind of creepy, right? Because I'm not saying anything. Starts fucking like instantly like makes a move, and Hassan's like, "Hey, whoa," and backs off his bodyguard because he recognized in the heat of the moment that it was me. And I was like, "Oh my God, God bless! I would have fucking died right there." But I did manage to do it to another streamer, Canute, and this happened on stream. So I'll show you. This was my meme that I was running all week. This is my bit.
Picture. Yeah.
That was so this is how awkward I would be, dude. I walk up, I just point, I don't talk at all.
Yeah. Picture. Yeah. Look at this.
Excuse me. Are you nut?
Yeah.
Now, this was kind of funny because this whole time I was kind of staring over at him, and I could tell Canute, after I left him, kept doing this. And he was like looking at his chat, looking at me, looking at the guy talking to him, looking at his chat, looking at me. And after a couple of seconds...
isn't that Ludwig that was walking around taking pictures? I saw it.
You tell?
I saw it.
But I did 100% manage to fool Tarek and XQC, and I told him about it later. I thought that was funny as fuck. Anyway, here's the picture I got. But damn good disguise. That's how good my disguise was. And I was running that all Saturday walking through the convention. Saturday night, we have a nice dinner. And then there's the next party of the weekend, the next big party. And that was the 100 Thieves party. And I get to the party, and Q didn't want to go because she wasn't feeling well, right? Because she had to do the meet and greet. She didn't sleep really well the night before. So I'm like, hey, I'm only going to go for a short amount of time. Maybe an hour or two, then I'm going to go home. So I get there at like 10. And before I know it, I look down at my clock, and it's like 1 a.m. And I only realized 3 hours into the party that the party was sponsored by 100 Thieves' new energy drink, Juvie, which has 125 milligrams of caffeine in every single drink. And every single mixed drink on the menu they had Juvie in it. And I had like 7 fucking drinks. So at 1 a.m., I was tired going into it. I was absolutely wired. I didn't realize I was on like 500 milligrams of fucking caffeine. I was so hyped up on caffeine. I was like running around the place. I end up leaving to help my friend get into the party. When I try to go back into the party after leaving to get my friend in, there's a security guard. And he's like, no, can't let you in, sir. And I'm like, but I have the badge that lets you in here. He's like, sorry, I can't let you in, sir. We're at fire marshal capacity. And he's like a little clicker. It says 75. Only 75 people allowed. But I'm noticing like a few people, you know, who are like a little closer to the 100 Thieves are just walking down. And I'm like, what about them? And he's like, so I messaged the one person who's on 100 Thieves, who I think's my ride or die. My road dog. Back to the Amoga's days. I messaged Fuzzly. Because, you know, she's so grounded. We're friends. You know, we're close. And she fucking donut walls me for an hour and 15 minutes while I stand outside getting business opportunity after business opportunity from random streamers, influencers, and business people just waiting to get in. Finally, shout out to Noah J, who leaves the party willingly just so I can go in. And I go down, and holy, I light up Fuzzly. She is dead to me! And then I enjoy the rest of the night. It was fun. It was much more of a chiller kickback compared to the FaZe party, and it was a good time. And so I leave that party, and as I'm leaving, you know, I'm a little drunk, I'm a little stressed, I'm trying to get home, and I find one of these bikes. I don't know if you've ever seen them in San Diego, and it's like an electric bike, and it's holding a carriage in the back that can hit 4 people, and they have speakers on it that are playing out like random songs. And I just hop on the closest bike I can find, and I'm like, go, go, go. And I give them the address to my Airbnb. That's how I make my daring escape. And we're cycling through, and the bike, honestly, pretty dope, all things considered. There's somebody on Twitter somehow found me on the bicycle, and they were on their own bicycle.
Oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. I'm Julia.
I'll tell you what, Julia, 5 seconds before she started recording was like, your bike is so much worse